the Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the week. April 23rd. How we doing, everybody? It's Boomer, it's Pinder, it's the other guy, Buffalo. Look at the Buffalo. You
very proud.
Very proud.
Yeah. Must have just signed a 1-year extension with Buffalo.
Wow, my boy Lindy's back.
Yeah.
Hope is in the air, Dean.
Kevin Adams said he wanted somebody with experience.
Check.
Well, yeah, he's got that for sure. Yeah.
Did we? Because it's funny. Like they've been chanting "Fire Lindy" in New Jersey for a few years now.
Yeah.
I get that he's experienced. Is he what they're missing, Rhett? Is he going to bring them the structure and work ethic? Because that's what they're missing, right?
Can I start well, I don't think it's conspiracy. Anyone with a brain could probably figure it out. Was that a Kevin Adams hire?
You're in Buffalo. Give us your conspiracy.
I believe Mr. Ruff is quite close with Mr. Pegula.
Yeah. How long was he there in the first
17 or 18 years or so?
Yeah.
He was
know
still
each other well.
He was here when Pegula bought the team.
Right. Yeah. Now you could argue that the most success that the team has ever experienced and never had and enjoyed was with Lindy behind the bench.
I could also argue this point.
Okay.
Dominic Hasek, Ryan Miller.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That it's probably more to do with the goaltending than the coaching in that era.
And hey, don't take this as I like Lindy Ruff. It's not. I'm not trying to poo-poo him. It just doesn't feel
him for sure.
It does not feel like a Kevin Adams hire. It doesn't feel. It actually didn't feel like a Kevin Adams firing. So a lot of people around here were surprised that Granato got let go. And are probably doing the exact same thing I'm doing, where it's like, this does not feel like a Kevin Adams thing. To the point, I would say that Lindy Ruff's the next GM of the Buffalo Sabres.
Is that right?
Whew, there's a lot there.
Well, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's conspiracy theory for sure.
And if you'd like to go back a few years and check on my other conspiracy theories, feel free.
100%. He's batting 1,000.
Yeah. Now, are you talking hockey
aliens.
Conspiracy or real world or the environment or what?
Let's stick to hockey.
Okay. Got it.
Coaching, GMing, that sort of thing.
I think we had the Sarich in studio a couple of years ago. I'm trying to remember the context of it, but I'm pretty sure it was Sarich. And Lindy's team had to have been the Devils or somebody at that point. And he just talked about they might have just hired him in New Jersey is what it might have been. And
it was probably Regeer because Regeer played for him and Regeer texted me last night.
Well, maybe it's for some reason in my head I think it's Sarich, but he's just like, when you say that name, I don't think structure. Like that's the last thing I think of. And I just keep looking at that Buffalo group being like, okay, you got to get them to work. That's clear because they have a lot of skill, but they're just missing structure. And so to me, I'm like, I don't see the fit aside from the resume. There's a lot of overlap between Buffalo and Ruff.
And I believe Kevin Adams worked with Lindy Ruff on the bench back in the day. He was an assistant coach to Lindy Ruff. So they
certainly would know each other. Yeah, no doubt.
Meddling owners, but it's their team. Do whatever you want.
Maybe it's not, but it is something to consider. It just does it feel like a Lindy Ruff? We got to get Lindy Ruff situation in Buffalo.
You know what it feels like? It does not feel like a 2024 hire.
Yeah,
it feels like Lindy could be a support guy. Wouldn't Lindy be a great guy to have alongside a younger coach who needs to navigate the waters and the pressure and the day-to-day rigors of being? I feel like that would be a nice hire. And you could even, because he was in Buffalo, he knows what it's like to be a Sabre, all of that.
Yeah.
But not the head guy.
It feels like Jacques Martin coming in as an interim in Ottawa. That's it.
Well, interim,
right? Like that would make sense if Lindy steered the ship for the last 2 months of the season and bought them some time. That would make sense. But like signing up for 2 years, I didn't think was
Was he on anyone else's radar?
No. Maybe TSN to have him on the panel.
To be honest, I saw a billboard driving home and it said, "Welcome back, Lindy." I actually thought someone had tried to be funny.
Yeah.
And then Regier texts me. I'm like, oh, I guess it's true.
What did
no bad blood for Lindy. It's
did you check in with? Should we have checked in with Rob Ray on the breaking news?
Yes.
what are we talking about?
What are we talking about? No, he's going to need a staff, Rhett. He's going to need a staff because
That's
they
what I said,
gunned all
there's-
the other assistants.
There's hope, abounding hope around
Is there?
here.
Abounding
hope.
a hipping, a hopping, abounding.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
P.
You've had
No,
such a great relationship with him. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that.
That's-
Now, Mr. P, did I not read he was also going to be selling off some of the stock in was it both teams or
rumors
just the
and
Bills?
innuendo? The other rumors and innuendos are that there is a major bill coming due for the stadium, and that
You think?
perhaps there's a bit of a. And the other rumor is that perhaps it's another NHL owner that wants to dabble in the business with Mr. Pagula.
Really? Well, listen, it's not cheap to put a roof on a stadium.
No.
I would suspect that the bill would be sizable.
It's a
Very
very
got
large
to put it
stadium.
downtown, right? Because it's got to be in the mix.
It's massive. Yeah. Anyway, a little not where I thought we would start the show, but here we are. We'll move on. Did we enjoy night number 2? Night number 2, 3 of the
I watched. I thought Toronto looked really good.
They showed some moxie,
I
Red.
did too.
And honestly, self-inflicted wounds out of the gate to put them down 2-1, late goal, dumb decisions. They had full fingerprints on that game. All the Boston goals were their idiot decisions, and they clawed back and won. And that sort of got us back into yesterday's conversation of you want to really know everything about a series after one game, you just don't.
Well, now just for the idiot decisions that you talk about.
Well, so it was Kampf on the penalty kill, has it on his backhand, should easily clear the puck, and instead says, I'm just leave this for my guy over here, Tim Liljegren, I think it was. He can just skate into this on his forehand and clear it. Except that it's literally on his stick. He leaves it, and Liljegren's like, my boy's got it. And then a Bruin sweeps in. They keep possession, zing, back of the net. And then the next one, I'm trying to remember, it was how do you lose Pasternak with like 10 seconds left at the end of the period? You had 3 guys within a foot of the blue line. Like, fellas, it's 10 seconds till the end of the period. Like, the one thing you don't do is, A, have 4 guys fly away from your net. And secondly, you might want not to lose the guy that scored like 100 goals the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You don't
Don't
like
lose
pasta?
that guy. And if I'm correct, I think it was Marner who was the closest guy who was ready to bust out of the zone when, to your point, maybe the emphasis would be, let's not let up. Let's make sure.
Maybe if I get this in 3 seconds, I can score at a break.
It was a hell of a pass, though. It was a hell of a pass.
It sure was. But again,
hell of a pass.
Some simple defense. If Rhett Warner was there, that gets cut off.
Oh, you'd be upset.
Lindy
You'd
Ruff,
be upset if you were
solid D coaching.
Yeah. If you were Sheldon Keefe. If you were real Keefy.
But they bounced back. There. And Austin looked unbelievable. You know,
real good.
Frank took a shot at Matthew, sort of saying he doesn't have a game where he's sort of taken over. Like last night, he absolutely did that.
And would have had another point had the high sticking goal accounted, but it did not. I give them credit. They dug in last night.
They controlled the game.
Yeah,
totally.
A late goal like that and some mistakes that that can crush you. So we saw some teams fold under pressure. The Leafs did not. Game-winning goal for Matthews, a beauty.
Oof.
1 goal, 2 assists. Gets the game winner with 7:54 to go. The Bertuzzi goal was called off. Yarncroke, that save by Allmark.
Yeah, it's wild.
Against the post. That's now again, I guess it gets a little bit higher, but no, the Leafs, they deserve this one. I was surprised. I saw this stat this morning. Since 1994, in a game 2 after losing the opener, the Leafs are 13-3. They've been a bit of a resilient bunch here. They outshoot the Bruins, and they look good. I thought they looked good in game 1, not as good as in 2, but they got to be feeling real strong.
The one thing they're doing,
you get the split, and you got to like the way you've played for the most part for 6 periods in Boston.
You've stolen home ice, and you're probably going to get Nylander back, your second best player at home. It doesn't mean you win the series, but you've got to love that compared to how you felt after game 1. The one thing they're doing is they're chasing hits so hard and taking dumb penalties.
I know.
That's the one thing they could clean up. Like they really want to out physical the Bruins, and they have, but to their detriment in game one, because they just kept handing them power plays, and last night even the same. Like I love that you want to finish checks, but are you going to put yourself in a bad spot to finish a check? They're doing that a little too much.
It happens a lot, right? Like I said yesterday or the other day, when your grit and your toughness is called into question. Well, look out, because we're going to come out and we're going to show you what kind of moxie, what kind of balls we got, and then you get we're power play, a minute 50 into game number one, and then power play goal, and Max Domi, it's a hell of a play by everybody involved. The Domi flip to the far blue. And then Matthews grabs it onside down, gets separation, goes in and scores. That's a hell of a goal.
So it's weird. I was assistant Sabres coach Matt Ellis. His kid was on our team last year, and so we were watching practice, and we're watching a drill, and he's watching how the forwards are performing against the D, and if they make a nice play, and I'm watching the D, going, "What the hell are you thinking?" So I'm stuck in the same thing where it's like. Now, I totally appreciate the flip and the catch and the move and the goal. Beautiful. What was McAvoy doing? Like, Chuck, you can't. We talked about pasta with 10 seconds left. That guy can't get on the backside of you and have.
Yeah, there were some options there. Tackle him, intercept the pass, like do something other
and to your point, it was. Like it felt like a 80 to 90% that thing was going in. The game he was having, the lethal finish. I mean, I think probably most players in the league are probably around 30 to 40% on breakaways. That one felt like it was going in, and the penalty to take was the smart move if you could prevent a goal.
There was no way he was missing on that. Ulmark was no.
Yeah, sorry. McAvoy will not be playing corner for the Patriots anytime soon, because he got beaten on the deep shot there.
That's right,
by Max Domi. And for Domi, a goal and an assist, and he was one of those guys that we were critical of. You're running around, you take a dumb penalty, they score while you're in the penalty box in game one.
Yeah,
and so here it is. It's the flip.
Whoop.
Yeah, and anything but that. I
suppose he's kind of turning around. That's
and on his. McAvoy's defense. It's an odd play for the flip at that point, right? Most of the guys are going to try a pass.
It's true, because only blue to
chip
blue
up the wall, like they're. And I got to be honest, I don't think that was a perfect pass by Domi. I think it was a directional pass that happened to turn out perfectly.
Well, I was going to say, if you were going to try and replicate that in a game scenario, how often is that going to happen? It's minuscule. It's where it's going to be right on the money, where it's onside, where the D-man is out of sorts, and you couldn't have expected a better guy. I'd find myself it's like, all right, Toronto, come on now. Let's
go for it.
Let's get it going here, which is odd. I don't know what is happening.
It's almost like when you watch someone fail and get, treaded upon and beaten so badly for so long. You almost kind of want to see them buck the trend. I remember even having a soft spot for the Oilers when they had that decade of absolute irrelevance. Then they won the lottery 1,000 times and it went away.
I think part of the reason I have a soft spot is because the fan base is a true fan base. The people that annoy us are typically the media coverage, where someone's got a hangnail and they try and spin it into this story, and it's like, right? Like most of the fans, they're very passionate.
The Super Bowl was awarded today, but first, a pane of glass at Leafs training camp, bro.
Yeah, it is the media for sure. And the thing about the fans is they are passionate. They love that team. They've had nothing to cheer for in any of our lifetimes, let's be honest. And there's really been very little reason for them to be obnoxious, because there's been no success for them to have become obnoxious. Unless you go back to, 92, 93, they were very good. But outside of that, if you're a fan of the Leafs, it's not because you're a front runner. It's because you're a fan of the team. So
two things.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I told the Matthews night, just statistically, 12 shots, attempts, 8 on target, 6 hits. Only Reeves had more with 7. He goes 70% in the face-off dot, 16 wins, 7 losses, a block shot, Austin Matthews played 23 and a half minutes and was far and away the best human playing hockey on the ice.
And he was good in game 1.
Yeah. And so now you're going to add your second best player potentially for game 3. And then the other thing that I see everyone's outraged at everything because, it's 2024. How come they're alternating goalies? And I wonder about this thing because, well, no one's done it in the past. Like, right. But no one played with non-wooden sticks until the composites came around. And, no one their starter used to play 45 games until we learned more about sports. Like, this is really bothering some people that they went to Ullmark, who was great last night, but just played on the inferior team.
Yeah. There was
I would love the people that are outraged to look up, and I'm trying to do it quickly here. Like, what are the differentiating stats between Ullmark and Swayman?
Totally.
Like,
Swayman might be having a little bit better of a year, but Ullmark won the Vezina last year.
Yes.
You have 2 number ones. Why not use both of them and keep them fresher? It seems like you're not trying to force something that doesn't fit. You're not alternating like Brossoit and Hellebuck here.
Poor Larry. But yeah,
good backup.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things. It's good till it doesn't work, and then regardless, people are going to have some ammo. But I mean, shit, he was good last night. Ullmark was just fine. For Matthews, it's already his 6th game-winning playoff goal. That's 4th, I believe, all time for the Leafs. Which again goes back. It lets you realize not a lot of playoff success for the Leafs.
Yeah,
not a front
runner. They've been dysfunctional for a long time.
Sundin 7, Mahovlich 9, Ted Kennedy. Is he running for office? 11, going back in time. So there you go. That was a humdinger, a heartbreaker for the New York Islanders.
Oh, boy.
I was snuggling the shoveler. We were watching the game. It was time to put the kids to bed.
You snuggling? You were mid-snuggle?
Yeah. Big snuggler. Oh, yeah.
Is that right? Okay, yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey.
That was spinning like a hurricane.
I thought game
Coach,
over. We can move. We can take this party somewhere else.
Yeah. No,
I had the fucking Islanders and the under, boys. How did I feel?
Very
perfect with like 4 minutes left, and they lose in regulation, no less.
Yeah, I think we went through some of those mathematical scenarios that would have had to be the under. So 5-3 was that? Islanders led 3-0.
Oh, they were in total control.
And like total control as in
32-13 in shots.
The shot attempts are like 111 to 28 at the end of the night. So
39.
I'm going to say this
12.
again. I always, I think that's how they play though. Like isn't that Islander?
The Islanders? Well, that's clearly that they know that's how they're going to have to win this series.
They don't want to be the ice to be tilted that badly, but if they're going to win, they're going to have to find a way to win when getting outshot for sure.
And you can squint and see that they could, if not 1-1, they could be up in this series because it was a 1-1 game in game 1, and they were probably, I mean, I don't know. They haven't been the better team. I can't, but you find ways to win. And that's give whoever Patrick Waugh. That's the only way we're going to beat this team is if we bore the shit out of them and protect, try and protect. But that, like you say, it's shots were still 39-12. It's not like you shut them down. They're just not, they're not as good as the Carolina Hurricanes, but man, 2 in 9 seconds with 2:15 left. I don't know how in game 1, game 5, games, whatever, how you come back from that.
And it reminded me of the Vancouver when they got that second goal in 12 seconds. Like there's all that tension in the building. One ties it, the next gives the lead, and it is a complete pandemonium. They then add an empty netter, and the Islanders are melting down. Like guys are just taking swings, dumb decisions, getting tossed. You could see, that was Chernobyl level for the Islanders to not only just blow the lead, but have let them tie it. But then the next shift, before they've even announced the goal, there's another one in. Like, oof. Heading home, 0-2.
I wonder if Patrick Waugh was upset post game.
I was actually thinking about that. Like, you can't rip guys in the playoffs. Like, it always.
What do you, Retro? You've been in rooms. I'm sure you've had some. Well, I mean, obviously we not this is not to throw you under the bus, and I'm not talking about 99 or whatever, but there would be losses where it's like, shit, we were a minute away or whatever from getting a win, and now we've lost.
Just a bad loss.
Just shut up. You just pack your shit and we'll talk tomorrow.
That would have been game 6 against Vancouver, right? Because you guys, it looked like you had that one, and then
no,
the Canucks...
it was the opposite. We came back. We were down 4-1 and tied at 4-4 in the third.
Ooh, it was late game 7 in regulation. Then that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then
listen, I've had enough
yeah.
losses in playoffs or in big games where it's like, oh my God, what the collapsing and they are hard to come over. But as a coach, you don't walk into the room and say, what the are we thinking? What are we doing? We had them. Just finish it. Next game, we finish it, right? Next game, we finish it. Back your shit. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's the only message you can have.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I was watching and Frederick Anderson made some saves. It's like, Freddie Anderson was pretty good here. He allowed 3 on 12. Okay, well, I guess numbers being what they are, it's not ideal. But one's a power play goal and all that. But he didn't give up 4, I guess. The Islanders' lead was 3, so that ended up being. But so they tie it, and you're thinking, okay, overtime. Let's get to overtime, and then the dump in, the turnover, Martinook in off the back of the leg. That's tough to take.
The shot attempts at the end of regulation, 110 for Carolina.
Yeah.
28 for the Isles. That is, if you want to know where the puck was all night.
Guys, we got to get some shots. Don't worry about it.
To get shots when we're hemmed in our own zone all night.
So the recipe for victory for the Islanders seems a bit flawed. Not getting shots, giving up a bunch of shots, can't protect leads, getting leads somehow, but not hanging on to them. Carolina, they won the cup. You'll remember back in 2006, I believe it was the Oilers.
Good for them.
Dating back to 2006, Canes are 10-0 in a game 2 after winning game 1 and have won 8 of those 9 series.
They've had some deep runs for a team that
they've had some good teams
since 2006.
Right? They're just a team we don't pay super close attention. We've talked about they've had 3 consecutive 50-win seasons. They've been good for a long time. When's the last time they've missed the playoffs? Like there'd be probably the odd year, like there can be sometimes here and there, but they're a pretty consistent playoff
Final Four team pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Last time they missed would have been 17-18. That's a while.
You know what it is? Here's the thing. Patrick Waugh, you were a hell of a goaltender. Islanders, I can get behind you. But we don't want that kind of shit getting into round 2.
Yeah.
We love upsets, but when you're that badly outclassed and your method is so clearly to just fucking white knuckle a boring bullshit game, beat it.
See ya.
And that's why we didn't want them in the friggin' first place.
Yeah, wanted
get
Sid.
Detroit in there, get Philly in there, get Pittsburgh in there. Hey, Jack, would Pittsburgh be doing this right now?
No, they'd be way more entertaining.
You're damn right.
We would have had 15 goals last night. It would have been Colorado, Winnipeg all over.
That's right. That's right.
They haven't used Sorokin yet. And it's probably time with them getting home. I know Varlamov was better down the stretch, but so was Alex Lyon for the Panthers last year. You got to get back to your number 1 at some point.
Yeah, and if for no other reason than just to shake
just to shift momentum.
Yeah, just to shake it. Oilers, I guess, played last night.
When?
Yeah, it must have been late.
Well, you probably had advanced from the snuggling stage.
He was outside having a smoke.
To the sleeping.
Yeah.
Right to the sleeping.
You shoveler snuggler, you. 7-4. McDavid, 5 helpers.
It's a lot.
Gretzky had 6 in 87. Someone named Mikko Laininen for the Rangers had 6 against Philly in 1982.
That's a fake name.
And then there's a group, but McDavid is now part of that group who have had 5 helpers in a single playoff game. Evan Bouchard, 4 assists.
Jeez.
A hat trick for that pampered silver spoon Zach Hyman.
Well,
thank goodness his parents had lots of money, or the Oilers may not be up 1-0 in this series. But Yeah, this was a lot of Edmonton.
Disallowed goal could have made things a little more interesting, but it just felt it wasn't.
It didn't
really
look
gonna
interesting.
happen.
Again, I was sleeping and I did not watch it, but it's watching the highlights. It didn't look difficult for me.
Never really felt in doubt. When you get up 4 rip, yeah.
And when you're post-coital, you're kind of out of it a little bit. You didn't miss much, Retro. You didn't miss much. Yeah, I think that's whatever.
Go.
You had Edmonton -1.5. You can go Edmonton -2.5 next time if you'd like, and I think that would be just
feels like it, right?
Yeah,
it feels like it.
Kings are gonna find a way to do something. I don't know that they did not look good.
No, they looked shit,
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
The great news in the goaltending market, if you're Craig Conroy, I mean, who knows how these series go, but after one game, what do you think the appetite for the Avalanche and Kings are to go get a number 1 goalie?
Yeah. We're one game in.
One game, but still. And, Toronto finds a way to screw this thing up. They're going to need a goalie too. Huh?
Yeah. Well, true living.
Knows Markstrom, likes Markstrom.
And then, is there a greater villain than Mark Stone?
Beautiful stuff.
Walks into Dallas in a black hat, like you might in Texas. You might wear one. But in this case, pure villain. As a minute 23 in, back from the last explain just to get on the LTIR.
He bladed himself to get to Hurdle. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have whatever. Again, if you're going to sit him for 2 months or whatever it ends up being, then sit him for 2 months. And if he's good to go, then he's good to go. Other teams could do it if they wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And some teams do it to mixed success. It's worked pretty well.
You have to play without one of your best players for a long time. That's the part people keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you don't get to keep Mark Stone in your lineup and then you have to play without him.
Yeah. Shots on this night for Dallas, 30-15, but Ottinger allows 4 on those 15. 2 power play goals, and then a weird kind of a seeing eye shot from Braden McNabb finds its way through. Bad turnover by Thomas Harley on the Marchessault goal, but a turnover nonetheless. But what's interesting, and Stars had a goal disallowed. Ryan Suter scored a goal that was offside. So it's a 1 goal, but Noah Hanifin, Vegas's power play quarterback. The power play goes 2 for 2. Hanifin 2 power play assists, shots from the blue line, tipped by Stone and then Hurdle, respectively. Do the Vegas have a power play quarterback?
Well, they had one in Theodore. I'm not sure that.
I just want because
he usurped him.
Well, last night anyway, he was the guy. He was the guy back there.
Interesting. Flames second rounders tied to this. The Vegas Golden Knights have a second rounder tied in this series. If they win it, it goes to the Flames. You can, don't get too sucked into this villain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas could help Calgary here.
I
still think we got a series here.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I was also thinking last night that Vegas would have been the better foe for the Oilers here.
Yeah, you really get stoned with 2 birds or whatever, where you
something like that.
Cheer against the Oilers and also get that second rounder.
But here we are. And again, we're still very excited. It's all very fresh, but a hell of a night of playoff hockey last night. You had some drama with the Leafs and Bruins, also with Dallas Vegas. We talked about Carolina doing what they did.
Yep.
Hell of a night. Hell of a night for playoff.
And you're right. It's Hanifin and Eichel playing the points in the first unit, and they have Theodore Pietrangelo as the 2 defensemen on the second unit. That is wild.
How about it?
Whew.
Missed opportunity for the Flames. How long was Hanifin a Flame?
Is it wild? Or
he ran first power play here all year, and it was one of the worst power plays in the league.
Did he have Eichel?
Did he have Hurdle and Mark Stone?
This is what I wanted to say is that Hanifin's on the first unit. I don't think he's running the first unit.
Yeah, he isn't the first unit. He's 1/5 of it at most.
Yeah.
He was 1/5 of one here that operated at about 12% for 3/4 of the year.
I could operate the power play if frickin'
at 12%. I believe you. Yes.
Sure.
God, it was bad.
And of course he has that extension in his back pocket. Life's good for Noah. Loving Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
You got all the leverage in the world when you're going to be a free agent in months. Players got the hand on the wheel.
Yeah. You know what those are? That's kind of our opening statements for night 3, I suppose, of the NHL postseason. For McLeod Law, Peter Klein, he is the go-to guy in Calgary for your disability insurance claim. He's also the guy if your long-term disability insurance company isn't paying your those benefits that you need, that you desperately need, contact Peter. He will get on the job. He'll get you the benefits you paid for and you deserve. He'll get your peace of mind back, the peace of mind that you paid for. They are Calgary folks working for Calgary people, and they're the best in the business. McLeod-law.com. Whether your challenge is business or personal, stuff happens in life where you need some legal assistance and legal help. It's the easiest thing going. Contact McLeod Law, and whatever it is, they will step up and work for you. Tonight, we've got another 4-banger of games. But you know what? We'll get into that. I just wanted to, we kind of talked about the Flames a little bit here. About, or whatever. It's probably now pretty quiet, I would think, down at the Dome. The Wranglers are kind of getting ready for their thing that's coming up.
On the road in Tucson, yeah.
But outside of that, the players will be gone. Depot will just be, what's Depot doing? Is he shampooing the rugs, getting I don't know what. There'll be not much left for him to do. Count shoelaces.
He's got to be, you know what? Inventory.
Yeah.
You got to know your inventory so next year you're not short when you start.
You got to see how many pit sticks Roman Hammerlick's stolen. Just figure that out.
Hammerlick, the points with, it was a stat on TV last night.
This is a good one. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
Hammerlick has the most points in the playoffs with different teams. With a different team. Do you know what I mean? He has a point with the most teams in the playoffs.
So the most number of teams recording a point in the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. We got there.
Let's take a look.
It's hard to say.
Let's take a look. See here. Let's
prove it. Are you asking me to prove it?
No, I'm not. I just want to see because I know he played.
So he was well-traveled, wasn't he?
Playoff games for Tampa Bay, Edmonton, the Islanders, the Flames, Les Habs, the Capitals, and the Rangers.
Les Habs.
So there you go. He has 1 point in 2 games for the Rangers. Had 4 points as a Cap. 9 points there in one season as a Hab. A big 1 point in 6 games for the Flames in 06-07. Thanks a lot. Were you there for that one, Rhett? 06-07?
Yeah, he was.
Christ's sake.
Is that the
Islanders? Well, hey, congrats to Roman Hammerlick.
Suck on that one, Gretzky.
Stop the hammering.
You want that one?
Stop the hammering.
Guess it works.
Imagine if Hammer was still playing. How much we could use that.
Yeah, you're right. Or Dave Schultz.
Yeah.
All right.
What would you play for him?
Stop the hammering.
Right.
Because he was.
As he's punching someone in the face.
That's right. Roman Hammerlick.
Oh boy.
1,395 games.
Good Lord. Regular season?
Jumping. Yes.
Almost 1,400.
Just shy of 1,400. Another 113 playoff games.
Wow.
Sheesh. Of course, he was the first player selected in 1992.
Who went 2, Dean?
92. Well, I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll take a look-see for you. It was Alexei Yashin of the Ottawa Senators. And then Rhett's brother, Todd Warner, selected by Quebec at 4.
Now, why did your parents spell his last name differently? What's up with that?
Todd.
That's a pretty high pick for Todd.
It is.
I didn't realize he was that
highly touted.
Then the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers at 7 take one of 3 guys who never played a game in the NHL. Oopsie daisy.
Happens.
Flames took Corey Stillman at 6. That's a heck of a pick.
Turned out to be a good pick.
Flyers took a guy named Ryan Sittler. That was Daryl's kid, right? As I recall.
He did not have 10 points in one game in the NHL. Is that correct?
No.
What year was Scott Sissons?
Sizzo?
This was the Yegor year.
I remember because I was 91.
You've ever
Somewhere
heard
in
that
there?
one, Pinder?
1990.
Rings a bell, but I can't tell you much.
Well, do the list. You got the list there, Dean?
I got it. First overall in 1990, Owen Nolan. Buster plays an even 1,200 games.
Wow.
Peter Nedved to Vancouver at 2.
Oh, at the Max tournament. Yes.
Detroit takes Keith Primo at number 3.
Works out.
Mike Ricci, 4th to the Philadelphia Flyers,
Beautiful.
who was set to be traded. You remember he was part of that big trade with the Eric Lindros, Quebec, that whole deal.
Yeah.
Jaromir Jagr at 5. Decent.
Jeez. 5.
Decent.
Oh.
Scott Sissons of the Saskatoon Blades at number 6. 2 NHL games. Did not crack the score sheet.
Bad back, Dean.
Bad back?
Bad back, old Sizzo. Grew up in
Bad pick.
Saskatoon. Watched him
Sorry.
play. He's-
And then the LA Kings had to settle for Daryl Sador.
Oh,
After
Wow.
Sizzo.
How many games for him?
1291.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What are these guys eating, Rhett?
I think it was because you didn't train back then when they started.
Well, you should have played about 2,000 games then.
Yeah. No, then they started to train and I couldn't catch up. It was too
Yeah,
late.
it's too late. It's too late.
Just those eras changed on you. That's tough.
Now, this 1990 draft, you may
Lost
remember.
him, Ryan.
Oh boy, here he goes.
So Sador at 7, Darian Hatcher at 8. This is when the Flames moved up the draft board to take Trevor Kidd.
Oh.
But the pick that they traded away to move up to get Kidd went to,
I believe it was New Jersey.
and they selected
Martin Brodeur.
right.
Stop the hammering.
That
God
guy's
damn
not
it.
a Western
It just
Hockey League.
fucking sucks.
It's an endless number of fail clips that you could have for that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. But at least you traded up to get the guy you want.
Shit.
Boy.
Draft better would be
Come on, Chuck.
Just don't get to like 95, 96, 97. It gets worse for the Flames there. They had
Yeah.
the back-to-back years in the top 7 or 8 and just
okay. So I mean, we kind of got side, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to get sidelined like that.
you're
Get off
welcome.
the beaten path. It's tremendous, tremendous, and probably a real feel good moment for the Flames fans to be reminded about that.
Yeah.
You'd have had
Well,
no kip. You know what? You'd have had no kipper.
If you
You
had
might have
Martin Brodeur,
cups,
you're
but-
right. You might be right. So instead of 34, it might be a different number hanging from the banners, or from
Just
the
saying.
rafters, I suppose. But look at you, bright side. Always look on the bright side of life. Service Credit Union has the big share. It's back for the 6th year. It's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the big share contest. Now, how can you know? You save in a daily banking account, fast track your savings with a high yield savings account, invest in a GIC. Service has during this contest period with great interest rates and term lengths, save in a TFSA or RRSP for those short and long-term goals. What you need to do more than anything else is transfer your existing savings to Service Credit Union for chances to win $1 million. Contest ends April 30th, 2024. Skill test required. For rules, visit service.ca/win. That's SERVUS. You see it up there.
Service.
Service.ca/win. So Flames. I don't know what Conroy's doing. Just hanging around. So we know that Depot is, he's counting sticks. And what would be the first order? What's on the to-do list for Craig Conroy? We know that the draft is coming. There will be a U18 championship tournament that's going to be, every team needs to take a look at that one.
Roster's been finalized for that.
Tej is going to that one along with some
Yes.
others, but there will be some there's some things for Craig to do. But in terms of the roster and roster work, what's the priority list as you see it for Craig as we get into the off season here?
And we'll assume all exit meetings have been done with players, right?
Yes. Yeah. We'll assume that
Players are
everybody's done their
gone.
thing. Everyone's
Coaching
gone.
Staff's unpacked the season.
Yeah. Players have all been drunk and have sobered up since and have gone on their merry way.
They got drunk again and then sobered up and then,
Yeah.
Don't they have those? And you're not talking about the long, painful meetings that they have to go through every player and have everyone's opinion from management on them. And
yeah, I mean, yeah, let's assume.
let's get past that.
Yeah, that all
That's
the
pretty boring.
the mental work has kind of been done.
Those
You
guys-
have a Kylington extension. He's the UFA.
I don't want to get cracking on that. Yeah.
So that would be one that would be on the board. Now, we're led to believe that there's really not a lot of drama to expect here, that this is Kylington knows what he's got. The team's happy with him. He's happy with that whole thing, that this could be as close to being done. It could be any day.
Is that what we're being led to believe?
Well, this is what we're kind of led to believe, is that we're gonna get something done. The player's happy here. The team's happy with the player. He was already making $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Now we talked about this previously. You don't want to go long term, Red, on a Kylington deal, correct?
Oh, did I say that? If I said it, I'll stick to it. Sure.
Well, what is he, guys?
I
think that's where
would-
the conversation
yeah.
starts. What is he?
I
Do you
don't know. I don't know what he is. And
And
I
so-
wouldn't want a long-term deal.
How do you go long term on a guy when you don't know what he is? You don't want to overpay. The agent doesn't want to give up too much if he improves. It's just a really hard thing to do with the kind of mixed bag results he's had over the course of his career. He went from 7th or 8th defenseman to top 4 when Daryl put him with Tanev. He missed 20 months, came back and kind of looked somewhere between a second and third pair guy. I don't really know what he is. So,
Well, it's
what
not
would a
like
deal
you
look like long term, Dean?
Well, I mean, when you say you don't know what he is,
Yeah.
I think that's overstating it a little bit. If he's
What is he?
between a second or third defense, then he's an everyday NHL defenseman who skates well.
Right.
I don't know that he's a big point producer necessarily. But I don't think there's great hand wringing to be done over handing him a contract here.
No. I'm just saying
This isn't.
If he's played every night this season with Chris Tanev from the beginning of the season to the end, he's a top 4 defenseman, and that commands sort of $4 to $5 million, depending on how much offense is there. If he's playing on a third pair with Pahal, that probably dictates you're going to make between $2 and $3.5 million. It's a very different number of minutes, and the roles get paid very differently. So if you don't know the difference between a second and third pair, what's the number long term, and why would the agent give up the ceiling if he does blossom into a second pair?
You're not doing. If you do long term, you're very brave. I would say 1 or 2
This
years.
reeks of
$3
a
million.
1 year,
Yeah.
$2.5 million deal, because that's the season he got paid for that never happened. It's a great meet in the middle, and you can come back together and figure out more about where he is on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I don't know how often guys come back for the same dough. I don't know that guys get raises. And I think that probably he's a guy that gets a raise if it's a 1 or a 2 year deal in that 3.
I think it'll be around 3, 1 or 2 years,
Neighborhood.
$3 million.
You've very much changed your tune, Ryan, on Oliver Kylington.
I think the whole reason that we think he's going to re-sign here, and he's a free agent that got past the deadline, is because this is a unique set of circumstances. Would it be understandable for both parties if they understood that the Flames did a solid to Oliver Kylington, paying him $2.5 million to not play hockey last year? Is that a fair assessment? That both sides would be like, we did you a solid here. Yes, you did do us a solid.
I just don't. Are you clear? That's how it works. Is there insurance there? Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
Do you think the player's happy with how the Flames treated it in terms of the cone of silence that surrounded? Like we don't know what happened.
We're all left to guess, right? But from the way outside, it would seem like that he came back and played. But at the same time, this isn't a team they got D-men falling out of the cupboards either.
Well, they got lots of third pair.
He's a 26-year-old guy who skates really well.
Yes.
If you want to squeeze and get him at if he'll take two, then they should just announce it. I don't know what if he's doing a 1 or 2 year deal at 2.5 or whatever he was at. Why would it should be done?
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. It seemed like everyone was so this is going to get done, no sweat. But maybe they wonder if he's a 5, not a 4. And that doesn't sound like a huge difference, but it is. It just is. You shelter your third pairs pretty heavily and the minutes aren't nearly there. Is he not going to run a power play? Like,
yeah.
Are we worried about a relapse in whatever you never told us happened before? Like I would have, that's why I keep coming back to a 1 year deal, because there's just too many unknowns here.
I said 1 year 3. You're at 1 and 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to play the inflation game on 2.5 from when he signed it 3 years ago, sure, whatever.
That's all I'm saying is you don't often see guys that there's a bump. There's just always a bump, whether or not you really feel like he's played 200 games, which is not a lot for a guy who's 26. To your point, but I think that I don't think there's a wealth of defense there. I think they would love to have him in the fold for another year or two. And maybe by then you do find out exactly what he is, even though now maybe on the other side for Kylington and his agent, I'm a UFA at 26. I skate like the wind. I can get 2.5 pretty much anywhere I want.
I would think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I could probably go to market and get 2.5 in any place, and 2.5 in a tax. You're right. So I don't know. Maybe it isn't as easy as we think it is.
And if you knew you had Chris Tanev coming back, I feel much more comfortable telling you what Oliver Kylington is.
Keep alluding to this, and I don't think that
I can't imagine.
Well, no, I'm not saying bring back Tanev, or they're going to. It's just like if you're drawing your lineup, I just don't know where to put him.
I still think that Conroy's they're going to have to get some sort of a veteranish defenseman.
I agree.
They cannot come into now they can, right? But I just think if you're truly trying to build, even if we're not going to make the playoffs, you're going to have to get an NHL.
Yeah, especially if you're telling your veteran players that you want to compete next year, because Nazem alluded to that, and I don't think he's pulling that out of midair, making it up. I think they do want to compete. They probably also want to have the option, if it doesn't go perfectly, to get back into the top 10 and sell assets at the deadline. But again, whether it's, there's a bunch of veteran right shot defensemen that you could bring in. And if you put one with Kylington that's covers his own fort well, and that allows Kylington to use his legs to get up ice, that seems like the type of fit he's worked with. It's really a hell of a mixed bag in his career. From 8th guy to 2nd pair.
Another item on the to-do list, I would suggest, is to figure out the crease in some way, shape, or form. And some of that is probably out of his hands a little bit. I don't know what I would love to know.
Lots of it.
What the Markstrom conversation was at the end of the year. Because Markstrom gave the fans nothing. I talked to Conroy, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And that's his right. But without knowing, I want to stay, trade me RFN. Without knowing where he's at, it's tough. But I think it's probably fair to say that Wolf needs to be on the NHL roster. We've talked about this for 2 years and then a year ago and all of that. It wouldn't be nice for him. You got to get him on there.
He was your best goalie
Vladar's coming off injury. So I don't know. You don't make a Markstrom trade just because you've got Vladar for another year, but this is something that's got to figure itself out over the next 4 or 5 months here. Obviously.
Yeah, and I don't think now the next month is when it happens. I think when the dust settles after the playoffs and you've seen which teams have been let down by their net minding, that's probably when we always see that middle of June to the end of June leading into the draft is like blockbuster trade season. It's the haul for Larson. It's a Subban for Weber. Like a lot of these monster summer deals happen at the run up to the draft. That's where they'll probably move on some goaltending. I just don't think he can move Vladar when he's hurt till he's healthy again. And Markstrom holds the cards. How much he wants to let Connie hold the wheels up to Markstrom.
It's a funny one.
I think the situation's soured enough that they're gonna. It just has that feel to me.
I don't even know if it's sour. It's just so obvious that the best path forward for both sides is without each other. Like Markstrom wants to win.
Markstrom wants to win.
What the fuck is he going to win in the next 2 years here?
That's what I mean. You're saying he's not sour. I'd be sour if I signed a 6-year deal with a team that was supposed to win and they dumped everyone and they had my name. I wouldn't care about that, but he was sour about it. He could pretend that he wasn't, but he was definitely sour about his name being in the media. It's sour, and it's fine. It's okay. We don't have to always be hugging and kissing. He wants to win.
He controls the process. Just ask for trade.
Get out.
Yeah.
Bye. I hope he did. He didn't say what he said to Conroy. Maybe he said.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they both looked at each other and said, "Hey, it's been great. I think both parties. We'd love to see you succeed elsewhere. We'd love to get some young assets back. Go win a cup before your career's over."
In public, Conroy comes across a real nice guy. You close that door to the office, and he's a mean bastard.
Is that what it is?
Right?
Oh yeah. I didn't want to sign you anyway. You silly Swede. Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out. You silly Swede.
Yes.
Language, Craig. Language. And if you need to spin it to your veterans, you don't have to squint that hard to suggest Dustin Wolf is ready to play more games at the NHL level. He's improved as I think you can sell that to your cadres and whoever else needs to be sold.
You're also getting assets back, right? And Craig hasn't taken many.
What Russian ninth defenseman?
Lyubushkin is available out of Toronto.
Oh, geez. Yeah. But yeah, Connie hasn't taken a lot of straight futures deals like the Zadorov one was, but everything else has kind of been tied to a player that could help the roster pretty quick. Kuzmenko comes in, Sharangovich comes in. You've got Miramanov on the roster already. Like the sales pitch might be, look at this really good player that's on the team that wasn't before.
You mentioned a name. He is also on the, I would guess, the to-do list, and it doesn't have to be because he's got a contract for next year. But Yegor Sharangovich had a tremendous season, a career season, one that you would think would have him thinking, this is a good place for me to play, but you just don't know. Making $3.1 million. He's got a year left.
It's a deal.
You can start talking to him this summer. But what does the player want? And what are you prepared to pay a guy who just had a season like he did?
It's a fascinating question. What position does he play next year? That's another
31
one.
goals, 59 points in 82 games. Was a centerman for part of the year, was not a centerman for part of the year. I don't know where. I think it probably
first liner and a fourth liner.
Fourth, yeah.
Everything in between.
What is he?
Both
What
wings,
are you,
center,
Yegor?
all four lines. Swiss Army knife, Dean. That's what he is.
He's toolsy. That's what I like to say. He's a toolsy guy for sure. But he's a guy that can score, and he's still young enough that you can give him a deal. But what's the goal? I'm for Craig Conroy and Jerome and all those guys when they sit down. Do you have your vision board? We're going to here's what we want to be and by when. And if you sign Sharangovich to a 5-year deal, a 4-year deal, a 6-year deal, whatever it is, does that make sense on the vision board for when they see this team culminating or starting to peak in terms of being a playoff, perennial type of a playoff team? I don't know.
It's 26 this summer. I think he's probably got a good 4 to 7 years of good hockey left. It's not like there's a ton of hard miles on the chassis. This is not a 220-pound power forward that fights. But just looking at the player's tools and the stats, if that's a centerman, he gets paid. If it's a winger, it's less. That's just what the market has shown you. So how you view him down the middle and how the agent views him, it probably has a lot to do with how you frame a contract. It would be pretty easy to say, okay, here's your production as a center iceman, here's your production as a winger. And we know he had a lot more shots and a lot more goals on the wing, but he also was a pretty responsible center for a guy that hadn't played a ton of it in his career. If you agree with the agent on the position, I don't think a deal's hard to get done because there's a lot of comparables out there. But if Dan Milstein's trying to sell you that he's a number one center, this might not go well. Well,
that's the thing. On what tact do you take? Well, we got to sign this guy because we might get a deal now. And if he's going to be a center, then maybe we get or do you use the other side? And it's not the same as a it's not even close to the same as a Huberdeau thing, Red. But I almost wonder, okay, so you scored your 30 goals and you played center. Is there a rush to sign him? Do you bring him back? You know what? Yeah, you're a 30-goal guy and you can play the middle when we need you. It's going to cost us more than maybe if we'd have taken a dice roll in the offseason, but we'll pay you. You've proven again for 2 years in a row as a Calgary Flame, you're versatile and you score. We're more confident in making a bigger investment, and it might cost us more, but we're prepared to pay you now that we're more comfortable knowing. Or do you feel like you know enough?
First of all, I think you have to know the depths of I think you need that vision board and to have a little more, because what's their cap space? And I know that Ryan, yes, he's a winger and he has played center is kind of what we're referring to him as, but the Flames don't have a damn centerman that can, they don't have enough high-end centermen. So
they're missing one on the roster big time. He was there out of necessity more than him being so good they put him there.
But he did excel. He played pretty damn good, did he not? And you maybe know the stats better. I'm not interested in going, well, what was his comparison between wing and center? I thought he had a decent season at center. I didn't notice him out of place. I didn't think that his game downgraded significantly.
The offense was muted, but I mean,
it was muted for a chunk, but then it came back near the end of the season. And maybe that's just the way it happened. But yeah, he was on a torrid pace before he moved to the middle.
Yeah. So if you want to just look at his 1 year here, he doesn't get on to anywhere near the top line until a month in. And so then he goes on that, scores 6 straight games, heater that I think bridged November and December, if I'm correct, against some pretty good opponents in there. Then after Lindholm moves, they slide him into the middle.
Right.
It's pretty quiet offensively. Yes, he does score some goals here or there, especially the longer he plays. Then they move Zeri to the middle. Once they're eliminated, he gets back to the wing and he scores again. If you just sort of lined up, ignore October, he was playing on all 4 lines. They didn't know where to put him. He's not a 4th liner. We know that, but he spent a lot of the month there for whatever reason. They would break him down to build him back up, get him to buy in, whatever. But his center stats might be, I'm a half point per game guy. And his winger stats might be, I'm a 3/4 point per game guy. But I don't know that. I don't think he's a center.
I'd wait.
I think he did a great job.
I'd wait.
And so if you can get a deal on a 30-goal winger, go get it. But don't go pay for a 30-goal centerman this summer.
Yeah. And I don't know for him, because this is another thing. Maybe we're wrong, but it sure does not seem, if they trade Markstrom, either way, it just does not seem like this is going to be a lock for a playoff spot. Let's be safe and go there. There's going to be another challenging season for the Calgary Flames. If you've got Sharangovich, who's 25 goals-ish by the deadline, and you've got Kuzmenko, who's 25 goals-ish by the deadline, Conroy could again be one of the sexiest ladies at the ball come deadline day. And if you're committing to this thing, then Sharangovich is a good player. He came here, he scored 30 goals. That's great. He's 26. Kuzmenko, 28.
Yep.
Just outside of that window where you probably want to be on the vision board is you could argue. So do you again go back to market and trade 2 guys that are on expiring contracts that are scorers it's not the same. Like Tomas Hertl is a center and he's an elite player. He's got but we see what kind of assets you can get for these guys. Now, I think maybe fans are a little disappointed with what you got for Tanev and what you got for Hanifin, but it's better than a kick in the pants. And I just wonder if what you potentially get there, you might be better off in the long term than having Sharangovich at 30 and 31 years old when the team might be good again.
Agreed.
I think I would wait. I think some of it has to do with salary cap and how all the rest of it's going to play out. If I sign him up, I'm not that excited with him, because you're right. I think if he has a good year, I can trade him, or I can decide to sign him then. And if he earns it, he earns it. That's fine.
Yeah, you've got so much cap space. If he wants to turn into a 40-goal guy and you have to pay him, great problem to have. You've got lots of cap space.
Yeah.
I think, Craig, like we talk about the philosophical thing, like how much of a teardown this becomes is a big piece of this puzzle, like the biggest, because if you know that they're intent on collecting top 10 picks the next 3 years and then trying to be really good in 2027, versus like, no, well, if your contract's expiring, we'll trade you and we'll try to collect as many young assets as possible. And maybe if the right things click and we add a center and go get a veteran defense, we can sneak in. Like, those are two very different approaches on what you do with Kuzmenko and Sharangovich.
Right. And again, I think your vision board joke is probably true, because who's the defenseman you're going to go get this offseason? Like, so play it out, the different scenarios. You might have 3 vision boards, 4, because if you think that you're going to do it as quickly, on the fly, they call it Dallas. Well, okay, who's your defenseman? You can't go with the defenseman you have. You can't. It's.
They have 2 top board defensemen.
Is Markstrom staying? Okay, he is. Okay, we're going to retool this on the fly. We're going to who's your defenseman? Who can you get? I just went through the list. You're squinting.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guys, but there's nothing that's sexy, and the sexy ones are going to want to go to contenders, not to
100%. So
to mentor young kids while you miss the playoffs for 2-3 years. Like,
yeah, but you're saying you're not. This is the one where you're retooling on the fly, and you're going to be on the cusp of making the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that might be your vision, but go sell that to.
I know, but this is what I'm saying is we're playing out the different scenarios, and different scenarios dictate different approaches to guys like Sharangovich, and right. If you're going out and you're going to go sign 2 defensemen I don't even know who the hell they would be. Or you're going to trade for 2 defensemen and you're going to retool this. And you think in 8th place next year, well, then maybe you sign Sharangovich and go, yeah, we want to lock you up. Right? Like, but I don't see the path.
It's too hard. Too many things have to go right.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not impossible, but God, it feels close.
First thing is you have to keep Markstrom. Okay, does he want to stay? Great. We've decided we have Markstrom and Wolf, and we'll ditch Vladar for a bag of pucks if we have to. But there's our 2 guys. Okay, great. Now you got your goaltending sorted out. Who are your defensemen?
Yeah, and who's your number 1 center? You're still missing one of those if you're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, well, I was going from goalie.
No, but I'm with you. You need to add a D. And hopefully Kylington could be a second pair with that guy.
And this D can't be just Joe Dick in his hat. This defenseman has to be able to perform and play. You're not going to get Lyubushkin and go from where you are and make the effing playoffs.
It's got to be a top 4D.
A legit top 4D.
Yeah.
Like,
is Joe Dick a free agent?
And how did he get that helmet exemption with his hat?
Right. Yeah. The hat.
If you take his hat, they'll trade him to you, though.
Is that how it is? Yeah.
Like, but Brady Shea someone's gonna break the bank for him.
Brady Shea ain't coming to Calgary.
Exactly. Yeah. And look, if Calgary's a piece away from a cup and they lost in the final, Brady Shea might come to Calgary. That's not where they're at here.
Like, hey, Brady, you like Carolina?
No, it's going to be a guy who's got some limited options.
Yeah.
And looks at it and saying, maybe I come from on a 1-year deal where I'm going to play 20 a night. And maybe next summer I can get a better deal than what I got this year.
And so that might be a Matt Dumba. I saw Brett Pesci's out there. I think he'll go to a sexier spot than this.
But the Dumba had a few years where people were quite high on him, and now the shine.
He turns 30 here.
And you know what? But those are the types of names. I think
that's the types of guy that's going to be here.
My point, though, to you guys is those are the types of names you might get. Those aren't the types of guys that are going to get you in the playoffs.
No,
they're stopgaps. They're placeholders. Yeah. Like Brandon Montour is not signing in Calgary. He's going to make some big money somewhere with a contender. That's how it goes.
But I'm trying to say we're this retool where you're fighting for the 8th spot. I'm not even saying a lock in the playoffs where you're fighting for an 8th spot. Matt Dumba ain't doing it. Shea ain't coming here. You're going to have to trade for a defenseman that can be impactful.
And you don't want to do that.
Don't see the path to this quick retool. Hence, no rush to sign
those guys.
I agree with you entirely. I just think this owner has always said to the GM, make it happen quicker. Don't give me the long play. Like, speed it up. And so
if Conroy was smart, he would just say they don't want to. They refuse to sign. Just lie.
Yeah, and you know what? I think in both Sharangovich and Kuzmenko, those are guys. They are not budding superstars. They're older players. They've been in the league for a while. They've kind of established, I think, what they are and what they're going to be. And they're very good players, but they're not franchise altering guys. But who you get in a trade for them might be.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of these teams, they aren't bad for 1 year and pick high and then turn it around. It just doesn't really happen that way. But if you squint this year, you got a couple first rounders, top 10 pick. Next year, maybe a little higher into the top 10 with more picks. It just, as I sit here today, it just feels like the smarter thing to put your pen away. Don't extend guys because they were pretty good for you in a non-playoff year.
Yeah. And if you wanted to go say, okay, Yegor, we love you. We'll give you 7 times 2, and then we can eat half and move you in 3 years. Like, whatever. I feel like it's a neutral move, but unless there's a deal where Connie's like, shit, I have this guy worth X and they're willing to sign under, there's no rush. And, you know, I will push back a little on the established long time in the league. What is this? Yegor's 3rd season and Kuzmenko's 2nd. So they might not be at their ceilings, but there's a really good ballpark of what a great season from these players looks like. It's a 35 to 40 goal season for Kuzmenko where, you know, you just load him up on everything offense. Power play 1, ozone starts, puck distributors.
I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I got it
and
out there, but.
And then Sharangovich is like, yeah, he's probably a second line winger, complimentary piece on a cup champ. And if he's on your top line wing, you're not that good. Sorry.
Like, I don't think you're going to, and it's a different scenario, but I don't think you're going to be 4 or 5 years down the road and be like, shit, we had a Marty St. Louis and we let him get away.
No.
Like, I don't think that's what you're looking at with the
I think this was that big year for Sharangovich, right? He's coming off 16 goals last year.
He's had some good years. He might be a hell of a player, but he's a good player that can help a good team. He's not a
he's not a core piece.
He's not a centerpiece for a squad. No. I like him. And he's had a guy where if you did sign him, I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Look, you clearly see he can play wherever. He played all 4 lines last year and still got you 30. Like, he can do things. He might be a guy you need but no rush at all to sign.
Yeah. If it's not a deal, I'm not too worried.
And I guess also on that list, and it doesn't have to happen because there's a contract, but we've talked a lot about how many wingers there are and the type of year it was for Andrew Mangiapane. I think people are like, well, you're going to be a trade. When do you trade Mangiapane? This is another one of those things where I'm not holding my breath because you're trading him potentially at the lowest spot possible.
Yeah.
It was an awful year for him.
You have no cap issues.
0.
You have plenty of space to keep them, even though you have tons of wingers, and you're going to give them away to save cap space. That's what you're doing. Who's taking them? What are you giving up to get Andrew Mangiapane after the last 2 years?
$5.8 million Andrew Mangiapane.
No thanks is what you're going to hear a lot of.
Yeah, you eat half and you might not get much back.
Right?
The only way you would justify it is if you feel like you need to open a spot in the top 9. And to be fair, like if the right injuries happen, that they usually pop up anyway. Like Jacob Pelche went down in training camp and didn't play on the big club till well into the new year. That opened the room for Zarian Pospisil to get ice.
Now, I think probably much like the market, we couldn't be more down on Mangiapane. I think that we're kind of let down, and it's been a disappointing year. He's not happy, obviously, and neither are we. I just never thought about it. When we talked, what are you going to get for him? Pinder, you said, well, maybe
third.
If you eat half, you might get a third. It's like, ooh, shit, that's not great. But that
prospects, like
you may not even get that, right? You might.
Who's excited?
You might be in a spot where that's just an expiring contract at the end of next season, depending on how his season goes.
It falls on his head, and it should. You wanted the money, you earned the money, and then you shut it down.
I don't know that he's
there was
trying
an
to
injury mixed in.
Okay, sorry.
No,
it's just
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Too, like fuck him.
I know.
Score.
We had
notice him be a pain in the ass once this year. Once.
It was not as regular, but I didn't see a guy not trying. I wouldn't go that far.
But he
You
was
never say that because you think that if you cross that line that you've crossed over the spot of
If I was Rhett Warner and I was playing through
I'll
all
say
kinds of stuff
whatever
that
I
the
want.
media
He
didn't know
played-
about, and someone said that I wasn't trying, I'd be fucking hot. So I don't like to say guys don't try. I don't see a guy not trying. I see a guy that looks a little lost, that's had the best puck luck in the world one year, and it's not there
Did you
anymore.
see him agitate at all?
That's the thing. Is the
Not to the
numbers
same
are
level.
one thing, but even when he wasn't scoring, he was a dog and a bone. He was a pain in the ass. He was turning pucks over. He was think of him in the net, in the crease, pardon me, in front of the net, face
If you-
washing and getting under people's skin.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
guys
guys are-
seen that in 2
Yeah,
years.
you guys are techies, so you could do the split screen.
Techies.
Play the year where he was playing well beside last year and tell me he's trying this hard.
Can't do that. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at the shooting percentages would tell the whole story on the goals. But I do agree that, like, when he got to the higher traffic areas this year, you notice it because, like, geez, we haven't seen as much of that. Where's that gone?
You didn't hear his name. You just there's how many games did he play where you just did he play?
And the other thing, and it happens, he's lost.
And who
a
did he
step.
play with?
He's lost the step, and he wasn't blessed with speed to begin with, right? It was his body position and kind of his intelligence that would
It
get
was
him
his
to the areas
effort.
where he needed to be. And I think he's lost a step and isn't there's not the extra, whatever you want to call it. There's not that intangible stuff.
5.8 coming.
He's definitely not worth 5.8. No question about that. Do you see if everything goes right for him again? Is he a 20 goal guy? I think that's probably what you're selling on the market, isn't it? If you're trying to trade him.
Again, so this is part of the, you have to explain this. We don't want Andrew Mangiapane to be shitty. I want him to score 35 again, please. Right? So
Yeah.
I absolutely think 20, 25. But
It's the outlier when you to Ryan's
It's not
point.
even close. It's
You look
3
at
years.
the 5 years where he essentially, and we got lockouts in there, but the 5 years he's a full-time NHLer. 17, these are his goal totals: 17, 18, 35, 17, 14. So flirting with 20 outside of this year, and then 1 year he got 35. So
20. Get 20.
which he hasn't done except in the 35 goal year. And he's
he gets 18 in a 56 goal year and 17 in a 68 goal season.
Fair
so
enough.
let's call those prorated low
Sure.
20s to mid 20s. But yeah, I think if someone else is looking to buy low on Andrew Mangiapane, what they're telling themselves is we're going to get him a fresh start, change of scenery. This was the Dylan Dubé thing before all that legal shit came down. It's a guy that screams change of scenery is going to help. Go play on the third line in Toronto and get to 20 goals again, and you're a helpful part.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just clogging up spots for young
Third
kids.
highest paid forward on the team.
And there's some high-paid forwards on the team.
Yeah, no, we understand he's not
Yeah.
earning the money on the contract. The contract was earned on a 35-goal season. That's a tough spot. But
But it comes, and we started the conversation. So Conroy, what do you got to do? Well, Mangiapane, there's no rush there. Sharon Govich, you got to get a deal and play. I'm not sure you do. I'm not sure there's a big rush there. What about Kuzmenko? I think we're all on the same. It's the same thing.
pump and dump, baby.
You're hanging on for no way are you talking extension. I don't think with him this summer. And Kylington, he's a UFA, so that would be probably most pressing. And then you got to figure your crease out, and that's a lot of it. As we kind of said, I feel like it's out of your hands. It's what does Markstrom want? And it's not like you're just going to do whatever it is that he wants, but if he doesn't want to be here, then that probably is top of your priority list. We got a Markstrom deal we got to get done.
I agree. Yeah, unless you really want AJ Greer back, which he was a good Warrior, but you find guys like that on waivers or at the end of September every year, and you kind of got some guys in the system you might want to look at anyway. I mean, they clearly like Dryden Hunt more than some people did.
I looked at, he's got another year.
At what? Like, you could put him in the A. That's where he spent most of his time here.
Freaking guy, ski mask and handguns. You get a multi-year deal when you're freaking Dryden Hunt. What are you doing here, fellas?
Traded for Radim Zahorna.
Miso Zahorna. So there you go. That's a little flame chatter.
But yeah, there's nothing front burner, Dino. It really isn't.
Friggin' Conroy, hey?
He loves summers off. He loves to kick the feet up.
Well,
just relax, chill.
He
Is
might
that
have
what he
May
does?
off. I don't know that he's got summer off.
Oh, this got all
June's
those-
going to be busy as hell for this cat.
Well, when's the U18s? He's got to go to. Sweden, Finland. He's got to go over to.
Oh, tough life.
Yeah,
First
Stay in a-
class in the pod.
yeah. Fly in the pod.
Oh, the pod would be nice. Yeah.
Oh,
God, yeah.
have you ever flown in a pod?
Of course, yes.
Do people know what we're talking about? The
First
the
class little bed thingy.
first class. You get your little room there. You and the shoveler snuggling away in there. Is it for
Oh,
two
baby.
people or just one?
Oh,
you all
get
just snuggle
whatever,
in the
you
pod?
get
What are the
Can you
rules?
snuggle in the pod?
I think there's actually planes now with like real rooms. Yeah, you can really
If
upgrade.
you're flying in and out of Dubai, Rat, you got lots of options for rooms and stuff.
My kind of dough. Oh, baby.
Yeah, Chris is chiming in. Boomer is negative. Must be a riot to live with. What did I say? It was negative there.
Actually, you've been all right.
Don't
to
sign
go
any-
I
out.
was going to say, are you new to the show? And today he's not being negative.
Jesus Christ! Like I'm good spirits today. Come on,
Guys
Chris.
on a roll.
Jesus.
Come on, Chris. Jesus. You can play the DFO Playoff Parlay Challenge. Here is the website: games.dailyfaceoff.com. Every day, 4 questions. You pick the winning team, the over/under for points, total goals, predict who is the first goal scorer, and the highest scoring period. Daily winners, you're going to snag gift cards each round. Champs are going to pocket some cash. Get after it every single day. Games.dailyfaceoff.com. Wonder how Frank, because Frank was going out to Greta last night in Vancouver, we're led to believe.
He was. I saw a picture of a bunch of people with mustaches wearing Oilers jerseys. There's 12 guys, all in Oiler jerseys in Vancouver, wishing they were in Edmonton, and 3/4 of them had mustaches. I was like, how? Is this Stuart Skinner influence? What's happened?
It's, you know what? It's in. I blame Matthews. I feel like
Poppy.
Austin Matthews was one of the
Poppy.
first young guys who decided to wear the mustache. And now it's all cool. Where's yours, Warner? I thought you were going to grow it out for the draft.
Yeah, you prick.
I started to shave before the draft, and my first cut was
The
What have I
deepest
done?
way
See,
to
that's
go.
why I never shave. Can't make that mistake.
That's right.
should we grow playoff beards? Boom.
We need lottery beards or lottery mustaches, something for good luck. We got to get our boy Tim Nackey in studio. Like, it's a big day, that draft lottery. That changes everything, Rat.
Yeah. Oh, Hunt was effective, admitted. So we got the Dryden Hunt fan club. All right.
Cranbrook.
Well, I mean, guys,
From
he's a
Cranbrook.
15th forward. Let's not get
Jesus
too
Christ.
crazy here. He was a good
Seven-
15th forward, Dean. Is he a 15th forward?
775.
Yes.
Yeah, why are you hammering on the 775 guy?
Look
Seriously.
at Big D. Yeah, who is Hunt? That's right.
That
Daryl.
was Daryl's opinion on him. That's correct.
That's right. Well, I guess it's time for the fucking Pinder Report.
Oh, God. Are you gonna
Just
love
when
this?
my mood was so good.
So, Dean, when was the last time you went to the zoo?
Years.
Gonna
Years
get you
and
caught
years
up
and
to
years.
speed.
Great. 2024 Honda Accord redesigned last year, chosen by Car and Driver magazine as the #1 mid-sized sedan. One of the most reliable vehicles on the road, is better than ever. Superior ride quality, reliability, and impressive fuel economy, all thanks to the EXL Hybrid. Check out the Accord, the Civic, the Pilot, CRV, all of the Honda line at the Northwest Auto Mall, online at villagehonda.com, and our buddies at Village present
Ryan Pinder.
the Pinder Report.
Fellas, what would it be like if, say, your dad was a hero playing sports in a certain city and then you had to rise up through that city and organization, trying to chase your dreams in the shadow of your father? Ask Josh Doan, because Ryan Pike did. 2 sons of franchise icons. There's interesting parallels between Josh Doan and Tej Aginla. Good read on Flames
Josh
Nation.
Doan, the
baby.
full 2 weeks of having to live in Phoenix.
Yeah,
5
it was
goals.
a while ago, but I hear you. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
he's a soaker now, D.
he's a total soaker. Not so good get for Ryan Pike, though. He had a chance to the
Stuff.
Coyotes, while they were still the Coyotes. Are they not? So they're no longer the Coyotes.
They don't have a name.
Whatever they are,
They're you
They,
too. Where the
uh,
streets have
yeah.
no names.
they gave Ryan Pike great access to Josh Doan for a little sit-down interview. So check that out, flamesnation.ca. To your point.
Speaking of Tej,
Ryan, back to
his
you.
season was over. Wrong. Yeah, the Rockets are done, but look at
Let's
this. Tej has been added to the U18 men's worlds roster He is the 25th body. That is it. It's done. Fini.
Without sounding like a putz, what is the U18 men's worlds?
It is a tournament for men under the age of 18.
So those aren't men; those are teenagers.
It does seem odd to see the word men's there, but yeah, that's
Okay.
Oh, rat.
semantics.
All right.
Didn't you play in a? Or sorry, is
it the Ivan Helinka? The
It's not the
Helinka?
Helinka.
Gretzky?
the clinch?
The folk?
Klitschko.
Vitaly
Isn't
Klitschko.
there Helinka?
There's an
Gretzky?
Ivan.
The Helinka
Yeah.
Gretzky Cup. This is not that. I believe that
Okay.
was in the summer.
Is that still going on?
I
believe
I've
believe it
played
is.
in that, Ryan. Just to say.
Yeah.
What was the one in Japan where you found the beer in the
the one.
vending machine with Jason Weimer?
That's the one.
Okay.
The Helenka or the U18?
Yeah, Helinka's Japanese. That's right. Tej's dad, Jerome, never played at the U18s, but he appeared at the Copa Mexico, a Helinka Gretzky Cup precursor event, and big sister Jade won gold with Canada back in 02.
Jade's better than all those bum brothers of hers.
Reds
So
picked a
Tej
favorite already. There you
Better
go.
than Jerome. Craig, don't mess it up.
Yeah, what's the hierarchy here? Is Jerome at the bottom, Jade's at the top, and then Joe might be.
Sounds
he's
like
off to a better
Jerome's the
start than-
fucking bum out of this crew, right? So it's
Yeah.
Jade.
Just pay for the shit, would you, old man?
Speaking of the bum of the crew, a video came up on Hockey Fights socials yesterday. They have a random fight thing where they just play one, doesn't have to have anything to do with anything. And it was a fellow for the LA Kings wearing number 88, scrapping a younger Patrick Maroon of the Oilers.
Saw that.
And that was Jerome McGinley wearing 88 for the Kings, nearly 40, having fought Derek England within the night or two prior. God damn it, was this guy fearless. And he takes some early and then starts to the lefts, and he absolutely handles fourth liner Pat Maroon. It's wild, man.
He's a snapshot.
Well, and I think the old bugger started doing some boxing and Muay Thai at the end of his career. So just to top things up.
Yeah.
He did have some extra time in the spring in Colorado there for those 3 years. Hey-oh.
So if you're going to go to, Mad Rose Pub and you see Iggy having a pint and you think you're going to test the old guy,
No.
be careful. He's been taking Muay Thai.
That's right.
Hang on, looking on you.
Keep punching.
Cooney.
The Flames have added another prospect to the Wranglers.
What?
Hunter Brestevich. That means Kitchener's season's done. T's and P's, Rangers. But it means the season's not over for the highly touted second-round defenseman that, has had his stock surge this year, being included in the Lindholm deal and putting up OHL defenseman point numbers that are preposterous. Welcome to the pro ranks, sir. ATO. He could be here next year as he's a late birthday playing full-time with the Wranglers. Hansa could as well. Lipinski, I think, as well.
Brew. I bet you that's what they'll say. Brew. If he scores or gets, that'd be
Brew.
Brew.
We got our baseball team for the kids. It's the Brewers. I mean, the Jays last year, the Brewers this year.
That's great, Ryan.
Oh, love
Thanks for that tidbit.
Brew. Pat McAfee doesn't know where Winnipeg is, but I don't care, Dean. This is beautiful stuff. When you get this guy talking puck.
Game in Winnipeg.
Oh, my God.
That was fantastic. In Winnipeg, I couldn't even, if there was an empty map of Canada, okay, and they said, Pat, go ahead and pin this particular whatever, Mountie, I'm not horse.
Yeah.
Pin this horse.
Got 100 chances.
Pin this 100. And it's big, so there's a lot of different options where the leg of the horse isn't going to take up a city and then shoulder is going to be in another city. I could not guess for the life of me where the hell it is, but I do know it's a place I would like to be one time. That barn last night was fantastic. Colorado, obviously, Stanley Cup Golden Knights Stanley Cup champs. Colorado before that, Stanley Cup champs. You're talking about a very good team in the Western. Look at this place going bananas. Full whiteout, full commitment, full banana.
He's a puck fan, man. It's good.
Well, and he's also on ESPN.
Well, that's what I mean. It's in his best interest to talk about it.
Yes.
They got the rights now for a second year. Or third, I guess. But
Not often Winnipeg's getting brought up on ESPN, though.
You're not getting the joy of watching PK and Mess muck about in the intermissions?
Dude. Oh, we got it up here.
Okay. I was curious.
But it is, I'm going to call it unwatchable.
2 springs ago, we went down to the States in, I think it was the Stanley Cup It was the conference finals. And so ESPN had one night, and the next night would be Turner. ESPN the next night, then Turner, TNT. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. How painful that ESPN panel is compared to how good the TNT one is with Wayne, and they had Talkett at that point, and the clown from the Desert Bissonnette. Like, it's just, one's amazing and the other is so painful.
Well, and they've got Henrik Lundqvist on there now, who's also, he's got some personality. Mess is a mess.
We had Mess on the old show a couple times. There is not a more disappointing interview than Mess. He's just Melba toast.
Yeah, it's and then PK tries to compensate.
He goes too far.
It's like,
I'm
giving it a solid goosh.
How many?
Now you consider you're the host of this show. It's the Boomocracy.
Yeah.
Does that look like people that would be fun? Like, I felt for that. I forget what his name is. The guy that's trying to steer that ship.
Yeah, this is worse.
No.
Dean, you're being negative again. Do you want to hang with PK and Mess more than us?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh shit!
No, you don't.
Do I want to be? Do I want to be on ESPN?
No.
No, I didn't ask that.
Or on FlamesNation YouTube?
Do you want to steer
like
a
a
ship
shot.
with Pinder and I, or those other two duds?
I'd make them good.
Oh God.
So Messier, bang Madonna, huh? Tell me about it.
He wouldn't even talk about the stupid Lay's commercials. That guy was dead.
No, he's lame. Yeah,
He's so lame.
Which he can't. I
He
feel
literally
like,
lost the cup at a strip club. You know, of one good story. What the hell?
and I feel like he's not that guy, right?
No, he just has this thing where he's doing media and he
I think
becomes
he's an all right guy.
worse.
Leon does that. Enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sense of humor, good guy. Then
Camera.
microphones, cameras.
yeah.
Unless it's canceled, it's not canceled. Jesus Christ.
You got to get Neon on the show.
We are this summer.
Yeah.
Come on, Dion.
Got a couple. We got some tentacles now. Because Rhett's always had all these guys' numbers, but he just never asks. But now I have two different people in Dion's inner circle. So three. So I think we can get them. Okay. News in Buffalo. We talked about it. Lindy Ruff. He back. Okay. Is that an awkward looking walk or what? That must be on ice, right?
You got to be careful with those shoes. Those are those
slippery.
wood bottom. They're very slippery.
2-year deal. Okay. Sure.
What are they paying him? So
No,
we know
and
what
you
they
know
were
what?
paying Donnie
We didn't-
Granato.
Donnie Granato, we made a mistake. It was a 2-year deal worth 3.9. We thought that was the AAV. That was the total dollars. We got Derek Englund on that. We were told that was our fault. No one else's.
My bad.
And that makes more sense. Donnie Granato making 1.9. Yeah, that's fits.
Who gave us that info?
Julian McKenzie tweeted it. We just read it wrong. He had it right.
All right.
We got Englanded.
We went sideways on that.
But what about Alex Tuck? Your boy, Red. What does he think about Lindy? Because that's an important Buffalo guy, culture setter, big piece coming back for Eichel.
The goat heads, what would it be like if Lindy Ruff was the coach here?
Oh. Wow. I think I've probably watched Lindy coach about as many games as I've actually played. What more than the amount of games I played for the Sabres. So he was my favorite coach growing up. That was the teams that I watched and sat on the couch and watched with my dad, and to see what he was able to do with those teams was really cool. It was really special. I got to actually meet him for the first time this year. And I didn't even think about that. Lindy's a great coach, a really smart guy. I've always been a huge fan of his. I have no idea. That'd be pretty cool though.
So that was obviously
How about Gerard
prior
Blair?
to the news, fellas.
I was I was about to
So-
snap because I'm like, what is this idiot doing at the rink still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been last week at the locker
Exits,
cleanout.
No. Maybe, eh?
That would have been the last day of
Yeah, probably,
media
yeah.
available.
I would think so. But yeah, he's wearing street clothes being asked about, a Buffalo coaching icon because he grew up in the area. So lots of respect there.
Good
Let's all
question,
be
bud.
wrong about the Sabres for once, shall we? Because it's been too
If
long.
he's got so much respect for Ruff, brings back some of the old Sabre guys. Maybe.
I really enjoyed that time. If not for this one plug on defense, I like them all.
Just
McKee's right there. Contest tonight. What do we got? 4-banger, Dino.
It's a
Four
four-banger, Ryan.
Banger.
Look at it.
Let's start at 5. Manhattan will feature the 91-point Capitals. You suck against the Rangers. We got some details on this game. Let's move forward here. The Caps are playing some very green and young defensemen, and this is why Nick Jensen and Rasmus Sandin couldn't go in game 1. They're not going to go in game 2. So you want guys you never heard of before? Look to the Caps' third pair. Dylan McElrath, the old 10th overall pick in the Cam Fowler draft that the Rangers made. He's actually suiting up against the Rangers in an interesting twist.
This is the game you're going to, right? Retro?
Yeah, you're there tonight, right?
Tuesday. It was the Tuesday. You're going to do Yankees.
Tuesday. Yeah, I'm going to do Rangers and then tomorrow Yankees.
Right.
Wow, that'd be great, Red. Can't wait. Back to that slate, if you don't mind, Jack. Let's look at some of these other contests.
You don't mind if I take tomorrow.
I don't know how many people caught game 1 of Panthers Tampa because it was right in the middle of the day here, if not, I think at 10:30 puck drop.
It was 10:30 a.m., right? Yeah.
I saw bits and pieces, and I really liked it, and Tampa scored late to make things very interesting. I think this still has the potential to be the best series in the first round. We'll have some eyes on it tonight, as should be fun.
Yeah, you're probably going to watch that one over Caps Rangers.
Hell bleeping, yeah. Yeah, totally.
And you've got that. You'll get the bulk of it in, even if you're ready for that Jets Avs. So
totally.
It was an interesting because the Panthers were all over them in the first. Lightning had, I think, 0 shots on net till there was 8 or 7 minutes left in the period, and then they scored and then nearly scored again. Yeah.
Bob was great for not the huge number of shots Tampa created. Bobrovsky made some big saves.
Yeah. Look at Reddy's going through.
The other contest, the night games, we go back to Winnipeg, which has been insane. We'll see if McAfee can get up there. And then Vancouver, it wasn't easy, but they showed some guts and fortitude against Nashville. Can they take over a game? Can they get some production from Miller and Pettersson? Or are they in for this tooth and nail every game, all series against Nashville? We'll find out tonight.
Let's go.
I can't get on my flight now.
Can't get on your flight.
What flight do you got? You going to New York?
3:15 direct.
Can't get on.
Adam Henrique, long time between playoff goals, friends. Check this out. 12 years. He scored as a Devil in the playoffs back in 2012. That was 3 years before McDavid was drafted. 2012. What happened in 2012 where we can stamp that? Like, that is wild. I mean, clearly the Devils played in the Cup final, but 4,333 days between goals.
Well, I think, and I feel bad now because I think I laughed at Paybuilt when they selected Adam Henrique at the draft.
It was the
Great
2 other
pick,
tables.
yeah.
Someone was going to get him.
Yeah.
He's a good fit there up front. It's just he's not pushing Cody Ceci down the depth chart. That was the issue with that trade. And they gave him first. More news from around the league. Timo Meyer's going to have surgery. Tough year with the Devils. Remember he came over that blockbuster from San Jose. He was going to be the mega stud.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been the mega stud.
I thought he was okay, though. And
Let me go look at the guess. What do you want to guess on points? I mean, I think he probably missed half the season is my guess. But
yeah, like I think down the stretch, I thought he was pretty good.
He was better down the stretch for sure. Timo Meier.
Well, good.
Anyway.
T's and P's to Timo.
Well, it's funny. Not that long ago, it was Timo, Hurdle, Carlson, Marlowe, like that whole crew in San Jose.
Yeah.
No. 52 points in 69 games. That's more games than I thought, more points than I thought. So, Timo, take it back.
Oh, boy, Timo.
Someone, I think is Puck Daddy, Greg Wyshynski of ESPN was thinking on this one. Pretty good. Shea Weber's contract now moves from Arizona to Utah. He could be the Soakers' first Hall of Famer, Dean.
Congratulations, Shea.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be there for to help launch the Soakers franchise?
Is he going to wear the Soakers jersey into the Hall?
That'd be big.
I guess that's baseball. They make you pick a hat. Hockey, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't make it.
And finally, shout outs to Jacob Voracek, who has called it a career. Over in Czechia, he done. 34 years of age, was a very, very good player for the Flyers and other squads. Rhett, do you have a Voracek anecdote as you're checking into your flight?
No, I don't give a shit about it.
Okay, we'll move along. He played
That
for the Blue
sounds rude.
Jackets
I
as well.
don't
Well, I do have, it was Mike Commodore who played with him in Columbus.
Okay.
And said that Jacob Voracek would eat peanut M&Ms by the family-sized bag.
Oh, close.
The big, 2-pounder, just mowing peanut
Now, you're the
M&Ms.
guy that doesn't like the peanut butter cup?
Yeah, not really. No. I like the Reese's Pieces because just the texture of they click against your teeth when you put them in your, and I kind of like that, like Skittles. But I just
things that you think about
peanut butter. Get on my toast. Stay away from my cookies. Stay away from my desserts. Stay away from chocolate. Get on my
interesting take.
You have a home always on my toast. And how about when you go to some places like a breakfast place and they don't have peanut butter? They got the little things on the tables. Like, I need marmalade, I guess.
No, you don't. No one ever needs marmalade. That's the worst.
What do I need? Worst. Could I get some? I got to ask you to get peanut butter. Oh, how many do you want? How many do I want? What are we doing here? Then I upset the table and take a dump on the
all right,
in front of the register, and I leave.
Now your Yankees buddy Aaron Boone off to a great start this year. The kind
Booney
of okay of late, and Booney was on the receiving end of some horse shit umpiring. Check this out, Rhett.
Wow, we're not going to need a John Boy breakdown of that one. We got a very
yeah. Well, because now
it's never been worse.
No, and like, look, we know how to do the strike zone box thing. It's on every fucking telecast. Like,
did I tell you about this? I went to the Bisons. The Jays.
They can review it. They could. The players can challenge.
They can tap.
You get it's at a certain point of the game or a certain count or only a certain number of times. Whatever there's rules about it. It takes less than 10 seconds.
There's not many rules, and I'll tell you what, they were doing it left and right.
Yes,
and I will say this: that ump dialed in. He missed one out of like 13, and it was like,
yeah.
Well, good news. There's some shitty umps that he can replace in the majors. Holy. And I still want to keep the umps behind the plate because you need Booney coming out to yell at them. But don't make them do balls and strikes. Put a buzzer in their pocket, whatever. You can call home and be safer out.
Come on, Dean. Let's hear.
Can't lose the ump yelling. We need that, right, Dean?
Oh, I need more prep. I'm getting older now. I can't just pull that out. I'm very relaxed.
You put me up in front of a crowd on Friday night.
Yeah, I did.
Dance monkey. And
and you did.
Monkey. That's what we do. And you did. You stick your fingers on my hand.
I'll tell you what. He was feeling it.
Yes.
He was good.
Do we want Rhett to talk? No, just wait till he has a few more beers and then we'll send him up.
Okay, now's the time. He's wobbling a little. Good. Put him up. Jack's a big hardo for anything Pittsburgh. So when the pitcher does something like this,
choked up on that bat. Whoa, did he go? He did. Wow.
That is dirty.
Look at this.
But I mean, he's thinking the same thing I was thinking.
Wow.
Swings at it.
I'm probably going to see it again.
Oh my gosh.
Has to bail.
And you got to gear up for 100 miles an hour, and there's that
slide. The pitching ninja calls that a sword.
Is that what it is?
Tough for someone to beat that sword this year.
Yeah.
Good. So what's this guy's name? Jacob Jones or something like
Jared Jones.
Jared Jones.
Rookie. I have no idea where he
came from.
He designs all the Flames merch and he pitches. What a guy.
Double J.
Canadian Jamal Murray, speaking of daggers, was ice cold shooting the basketball almost all night, got a little momentum in the fourth, and then they're tied with less than 5 seconds.
Murray makes a move.
Shades of Kawhi. No. Game 7, but yeah, pretty damn good. First ever Canadian buzzer beater in the playoffs. Love to see it. Game day, fellas. Cavalry FC will be at Atco Field. It is their preliminary round matchup with Vancouver FC in the Canadian Championship Tournament. If you're confused by all this, there are multiple seasons. There is the regular season, and then there's the Canadian Championship. If they win this game, they will host the Vancouver Whitecaps of MLS, which would be an absolute blast. That happened back in 2019, where the Cavs did quite well, I believe, drawing Whitecaps in that contest in their inaugural season. So a big one if they can win it. Maybe game of the year in at Atco Field coming up in a few weeks.
Show me the way to go home.
Show me the money.
Tired and I want to go to bed.
7 p.m. kickoff.
I had me a drink a couple hours ago and it went straight to my head. Remember that one? Who knows what that's from?
You're okay if they wear the greens tonight, Dino? Looks like
No.
they're going to wear the greens.
No,
You don't like the
I don't.
greens. You're all about the Reds?
Yes.
Okay, fair.
Come on now.
Vancouver 2-0 to start the regular season. They were an expansion team last year, so we'll see.
Exciting.
Should be feisty.
How's the weather?
Oh, 14 degrees at kickoff.
Oh,
beautiful.
Come on.
High 16 today.
Shut the front door.
That's beer drinking temperature. Look who's in Vegas. Our boy, Tim.Nacky, found a casino dumb enough to give them all their money. Let's go.
Carpet look familiar?
We did have 50k, but the max we can do is 3 squares. So that's fine by me, to be honest. 30,000 USD on mine. Thank you. I need tens and aces. You could go low.
8, 5, 4, 19.
We'll go low.
9.
5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6.
10.
Oh, against an ace.
Never insurance. I'm gonna.
Never in data boy, Tim.
19. Give me 10. Oh, you beauty! We're just
Want a
going
double.
picture for 20, picture for 20, picture for 20.
Yeah, that's 15.
15.
You're not staying at 15?
Can't win them all. Right, if you could
Against
just
an ace?
a 7 here, I dare me marry you, Annie.
That's it.
17?
Yeah, we stand up.
You stand on soft.
Yeah.
Yes!
There you go. 2 of his first 3.
Seki, my girl. Oh, that is a ripper. I think let's go 3 again. That'll make it 100,000 NZD on the line. One more time.
Last 3. Here we go.
10s all round. 10s all round. 10s all round. 12's gross. 14's worse. Go low for me. 2.
I hate 2s.
Yes, please. Gross.
Oh.
Stand and.
Staying 14. And he's got
Again,
a
please.
16.
Stand. Oh, that's not good. 18. Bugger. All right. You can't win them all. No. You cannot win them all. It could have been much worse.
So a lot to unpack there. First off, the casino won't let him play 100 grand a hand. Secondly, it's New Zealand dollars that he's playing, which is about 50K American with the rate. So all the money he's been doing has been at a Kiwi casino in New Zealand, Kiwi dollars, not American dollars. So he got to spend over 100 grand there, but he had to do it over 6 hands and 3 at a time. I'm not getting the adrenaline rush like I was.
He won the first hand.
He won 2 of the first 3.
No, I know, but just
yeah, exactly, Red, exactly. He should be up 100 grand.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I can't endorse this, Timmy. I know it was a brave idea. It's just like what did Quentin Tarantino just do? He was supposed to have his last film. They were like partway through it. He's like, "Fuck this!" Threw it in the trash. We're done. This thing's not.
Yeah,
it's not working.
I don't care if I'll make $100 million.
Can't do it. It's shit.
Damn it,
Timmy. But Jack lost more than 2 hands in a row there.
Does that count though?
Well, I don't know. It's just that we've
No,
never
it's
seen him lose
throws
back-to-back
everything
hands.
off.
Yeah, this is a completely different thing. This is
I don't
not
like this at all.
Which is not Tim's fault.
No, it's not his fault. He's trying things. That's fine. Got to go back to the well. So he's already talking about tomorrow.
No,
He's
don't
going to
need
do
to do it.
50 grand online and then do another lap at the table.
This has me concerned, and I'll tell you why. We have more than one pick, don't we? When he goes to the draft, or is he just going to the lottery ball thing?
We want him at the lottery ball thing. We need
Okay,
him to
I
go
thought he
to
was
the
going to the
lottery.
draft, and I'm like, hey.
Wouldn't that be awesome if they like pan to the Flames table and there's, Connie and Don Baloney and the whole crew, and then there's just Tim.Nacky wearing the fucking Kiwi hat with the drink.
How weird is it going to be seeing Maloney with Iggy and Conroy?
I don't know. Maloney's been at the table for how many years in a row now? It's not weird at all.
Yes, yeah, he's a veteran.
Is his chair a little further down the table now?
No, I'm just
He's gotta
wondering,
slide
like when
down a little
Iggy
bit?
and Conroy get arguing, like if he's ready
Put him in the
to
middle.
intervene. I feel like at the tables he's been at before, he wouldn't have had to put up with their BS. And now this is going to be a totally new. We might have to get Don on. Let's dig
Don
into
in.
that a little bit. Listen, do you need some help with these two idiots? Like, we know them. We know their reputations. Yes, they're these best of friends, but we all know they're going to be at each other's throats. How's it going?
Do you think that us calling him Don Baloney might stand in the way of us getting him for an interview?
Did someone call him Don Baloney?
I did not call him Don Baloney.
I called him Don Maloney. Dean, did you call him
Ryan?
Pinder worries about saying someone's not trying, but then he'll just be a complete D.
It's on the internet.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you can.
Was there a Freudian slip?
Leave that shit out.
Did somebody call him Don Baloney? I'm not sure. Did that happen? What?
I hear he's a wonderful man and actually rather progressive. So tip of the cap to Donnie. This says car F up. Okay, so pause here. This is good. This looks like some sort of either incredible car show or just a garage of like supercars.
Yeah, this is my
now there's
buddy's
going to be
garage.
some sort of unveiling. They're building some sort of a domino structure with branding on it around the car so they can knock the domino down and unveil the car. We know how it ends, but it's still fun to watch. Facepalm.
No, it worked.
Some jerk had to go rev the engine right when he was
worked.
I mean, they all husha. They all fell down. So what else did he want?
Yeah, nobody got hurt. Like this trick with a car, this could go very poorly. Let's have a look. It looks like he's riding the roof at a high velocity here. Whoa. There's a bit of a fall, but I'd say that ended pretty well, all considering the other options.
I was now at first I'm like, oh, this must be a movie scene and a professional stuntman, but this just looks like drunk rednecks doing stupid.
They're Russian rednecks trying to get on the internet, I believe.
Right on.
Would you like a little bit of an update, Ryan?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Because tonight you have Vancouver-Nashville game 2.
Yeah.
Elliot Friedman, among a number of media, reporting Thatcher Demko injured and questionable for the rest of the series. Timelines are unclear at this point, as is specific info about the injury. So that is no bueno for
just back from injury late in the season. Just buy some time while I
we need them to win.
Nashville. There's a pick tied to them, yeah. Nashville in regulation, plus 212. Okay. $5 turns to 15. Okay. Let's keep moving. Now, I don't know how this happened, and I think this is Toronto. Even this is off an Australian Instagram account. Basically, someone wrong with a crane, Dean. I think that's Roy Thompson Hall in the background there between. There's not many buildings shaped like that. I really think this is Toronto. I could be wrong. And listen to the accents.
Oh, is that his
Oh my God,
hard hat?
Hang on. Just let your hard hat fall.
Thanks, guys.
Hang on. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do. I was going to let go, but I guess I'll
hang on
now.
then.
Oh my God, how the fuck did this happen?
Turn it up, Jim.
Oh, we can hear it.
Fucking Jesus Christ. Is there a swamper there? Like somebody tell him to stop now before he gets crushed by this. Fuck! Stop! Stop! No, don't yell.
Don't yell.
Oh my fucking God. Look, man.
I don't know if this is like a big promotional stunt or not, but there is a new TV show launching with Ricky, and it's called The Trades.
It's The Trades, yeah.
And this feels like a scene from that. I haven't even seen it, but it feels like that was Ricky yelling. That's a new fear unlocked there, Dean.
Yeah, that wouldn't be. Now, give the guy credit. He was hanging in there.
Did great. Survived it.
Your shoulders would be just burning retro.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
You'd be like, I guess I'm dead.
Right? If you survive that, I'd buy you a beer.
I'm going for it then.
Well, in that case, then I guess I'll hang on.
Well, I was going to let go, but then Dean yelled, "Hold on!
Hold on!
Got it.
Stop!
I hadn't thought of that. I'll hold on now.
Well, could you wait till my feet are touching the ground before you tell him to stop? Humans.
Let's go to the zoo, Dino. This looks like some sort of a
So is
lizard.
this-
Now, here's the thing.
This is
Before
okay.
we
So
start
now
it-
it's
Before we start it, Dean,
the Honda Accord.
does this look like the lizard has come into this young man's house, or has the young man gone into the lizard's turf?
This feels like this dummy has gone and is bothering this this lizard of some sort.
Well, I bet you the lizard's actions will tell us. Here we go.
How do you feel? Go for my arm here. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. You did a great job there. Much better than I thought. Yeah, I'll probably need to just...
Is that RJ?
Apparently, there's the saliva of said lizard.
Or
and the
iguana,
teeth-
we're being told, yeah.
Not sure, whatever. Yeah, it's an iguana's a
The
lizard.
teeth are... They cause... So it's very difficult to stop the bleeding. And
Oh,
stitch
good.
up.
It doesn't let your blood coagulate.
Stop the hammering.
Right?
So if you do get bit, it's a real bugger.
What do you know about snapping turtles, though, Red? Because I know they like to bite. We even had one on the Pinder Report a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Any saliva issues there?
Very dangerous little fellow.
Careful, Roland.
Let's go back to the Everglades here. Here's Roland, our tour guide. What's he grabbing?
CRV sits atop the pack of compact SUVs.
I don't think you want to get bit.
Look.
What are you doing?
You don't want to get bitten
At
by this.
that
Careful
thing.
now, Roland.
Oh, my God.
Look at the size of this cat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know, but pick that
Weigh
thing
like
up.
100 pounds.
No, don't put that in our boat, dude.
Don't put that in our boat, dude.
He just said don't.
Oh,
shit.
Look
What
at that
are
big
you
boy.
doing?
Eating that cormorant. Oh, easy, bro.
Oh, he's pissed. He's
No,
pissed.
don't let him go.
Why are they...
What are you doing?
Roland!
Oh, my God.
my
Look at that thing.
Look at his head, bro. Oh, he's pissed.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
look at that thing.
Oh, my God.
Bro, you're wild, bro.
Roland, you're crazy, man. Whew.
Turtle soup.
Delicious. Now, there was some sort of a nuisance under a little walkway bridge, so someone set up a trap. Now, if you look at this rope, it looks like it's there's a trap for the animal here. Let's see what it is. Good music. It's going to be dramatic, dude.
The anticipation is...
Looks dark in color. I see some movement there, but I don't know what exactly. Now! Oh, it's a huge effing snake. Oh, shit. So now that you've got it, what are you going to do with it? Oh, that's a thick boy dude right there. You see that? I definitely would walk up to that dude barefoot. That's a move. Yeah, good work, guys. Got him. Yep. Ooh,
What a catch.
deadliest catch, dude. Dean, have you ever seen two hippos fight? Look at these things move, right?
That would be scary.
How are you gonna fight? What is this gonna be? Like a shoving match or something?
Yell at me. Hey, get out of here.
Oh, look at that. You gotta open your jaw nice and wide, dude. You hear their teeth cracking. Jeez.
This is hot.
Oh, that's when they poo.
Yeah,
He's
it's
taking a
flapping
huge
the...
dump. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, this is my turf. Get out of here, punk.
It sounds like...
Oh, dude, you couldn't even pull the trigger. Come on. Oh, get him now. Yeah.
Yeah, go get him. Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
This is Rhett and the Shoveler last night.
Wow. Still a big open mouth kissing into that.
When's the Oiler game on? I don't know.
Now, we met the guy that is trying to teach us about alligators by basically going in the water and talking about what not to do with the alligators. I'm sure this is going to work out for him long term. Short term, he's been very healthy. Let's go to a video of him underwater, definitely surprising an alligator with bubbles.
So I was just playing around with him a little bit, hanging out underwater, blowing some bubble rings up to see how he would react. And so he just kind of sinks down to the bottom. Isn't it so cool how they can just be floating totally fine and then decide to sink down? But then he sinks down and tries to get a little bit nippy. And that's just really him being more curious, just trying to investigate. And as you can see, I kind of touch him a little bit, but I'm also very careful. If you see him kind of twitchy, I'm very, very careful, because these slow exploratory swings where he's just kind of feeling around can turn very quick, very quickly. And so I do things like this all the time with him, where I just kind of explore and experiment and see what he's going to do, and try blowing bubbles or moving my hand around or moving the water around with my hand like that, just to try to see how he reacts. And it allows me to learn more about his behavior, but then also gets him a lot more used to interacting with me as well. And as you can see here, you can still hold him up and he's totally fine and chill about it. And so just always want to be careful though, always want to watch out. He's always still an alligator.
We saw the crocky back ride there the other day. That looks like a gator back ride there. Things are going to go well for that guy if he keeps making a video every day.
We're the only
don't know. I don't know what can go wrong. That was a gator, Dean, not a croc. So if you wanted a 17-foot croc from the Northern Territory, this is our boy Matt.
I'm not too worried about him being out. He knows where his pen is. As long as I've got a bit of food, I can slowly coax him back in there. I'll give him another piece here now. Next to you. There you go. All right. There you go.
It's just a 17-footer, Dean. That's,
you can be gentle.
Gentle.
Okay.
Your hands are like this.
Eat that.
Yeah, give him a little pop.
So I've still got some more pig. Going to try and fill him up a little bit. And then we're going to slowly get him back into his pen. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Oh. Look at the size of him.
Come on. Let's go.
He's being stubborn.
Filled him up too much.
Yeah, he's good now. Prod him and poke him, Dean. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Go in. Go in there. Come on. Go in. Go in. Go. Come on, go. Go.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go in. What do you do?
Dog doesn't want to come back in, right, Dean? Leave him out there.
Just leave him out there, yeah. Throw some pig legs at him.
That's his croc camp, the rescue camp up in the Northern Territory, where they're inviting all of us to come see you in the Northern Territory on the Pinder Report. For Village
Huge
Honda.
selection of pre-owned vehicles at Village Honda. All makes, all models, all budgets. Over 90 units on site, more than 500 more inside the dealership group is why Village Honda is your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. Worth the trip. Your dealership for life. Drive new, drive pre-owned. Service department is second to none. They're your friends. You got a friend in the business when you got Village Honda in your life. Northwest Auto Mall.
Even a better friend than that gator was to that guy in the wetsuit, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And they look like good pals.
So, so what's with the crocodiles? Like, what is it about? I don't know. Because like it's every day. Like, is it a thing with like? Is it a joke or with it? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I knew you were hungry today, so I didn't have any eating in there. Well, I had one, but decided not to.
Are you guys Australian, or is everything because it was kangaroos for a while?
Yeah, they've been gone.
And then it was like all alligators and crocodiles. It's
spiders and snakes.
All outback stuff. No, not never been and not from there.
Keen to go?
Not sure really what to tell you.
Star of the shows from there.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Whether you're an owner, operator, or just have a small fleet of trucks, listen up. Cal Tire has brought out a new free program. It's called Cal Pro Plus. Dedicated tire program just for you. I mentioned free program. Provides access to exclusive deals and savings, a price match guarantee, flexible financing options, preferred pricing on everything that you drive, including your own family's vehicles. You'll get dedicated member support, answering questions, recommending and sourcing the best tires for your application and budget. More than 260 Cal Tire stores are there to help. Now, you sign up for free. Here's the website, calproplus.com, calproplus.com. Exclusive deals on tires, 1 free flat tire repair a year. You get bring in your old tires, make money for the new ones, the casing credits up to $50 per tire, financing options available, the dedicated member support. They're going to recommend the best tread and compound for you depending on the condition and the terrain that you're on, best pricing, monitoring inventory. It's a free program, so why wouldn't you? Owner operator or a small fleet of trucks, this is built for you. calproplus.com. Sign up today because it's free. Thank you, Cal Tire. Is it time to switch summers to winter summers?
100%. Get her done.
Yep.
Get her done. Get her done. Let's do our betways. Betway bets. Do some Betway bets. There are I know. 4 banger as mentioned in the National Hockey League tonight. We got some dandies for you. But let's tell you about Betway. There are gaming partners. You bet the responsible way with Betway. Get it on your phone. They got the app. You get the app on wherever it is. Or you can use the website as well. I find it's easiest on my handheld to just have the app on there. And like Pinder did in Vancouver. I said, with Betway, you can get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Create a new account, scan the QR code on the screen, redeem that bonus. You place your bet. If the bet loses, you'll get a refund of up to $200, depending on what your initial bet was. Then use that to bet on your favorite sports. Offer only available outside of Ontario. So let's get at it. A couple here for myself. Lots of goals in game 1. I don't think there'll be as many, but looking forward to see what this game 2 has in store. Gabe Vilardi's been really good for Winnipeg. So good around the net. Plus 200 for an anytime goal. Give me some Gabe and a plus 200 in Winnipeg tonight. And Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers, an anytime goal, plus 175. Zib. I dig the Zib. Give me some Zib tonight, plus 175 for the Rangers. I feel like this is going to be a short series, so get in on some Rangers while you can.
I agree. I'm going to spend a lot of attention on the Colorado-Winnipeg game. I do like Colorado to continue to score. I don't know that they're going to get saves, but they made 6 look pretty easy. And I don't even know if they were playing that well. So I'll take plus 135 to hit 4 or more goals against Hellebuck. And if they're going to be doing that, I love Val Nichushkin at plus 250 for a pair of points. It's been good.
Nichushkin.
Yeah, it's close. There's an H that.
Hey, Jack.
Nichu skin.
Jack is there, right? Is he?
Nichushkin.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Jack.
Skin.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Those are your Betway bets. You can use ours. You can go out on your own, but I would encourage you. Create that new account, scan the QR code on the screen, redeem your bonus, a free bet of up to $200 if your first bet loses. Offer only available outside of Ontario. Betway, join the action. That guy's so pumped. It's the playoffs. He's ready.
Yeah.
So ready. Bet the responsible way with Betway. There will be a solid puckering going on to our friends to the west and the left.
Oh yeah.
So what? Casey
Demko.
Smith.
Yep.
Or Archer Seelovs, the other 2 goalies in the Canucks camp. Smith's been, to your point, the Smith has been okay, but we talked about their record with and without Demko this year. Changes that series.
Difference too when you hear day to day or
he is
post the series or
definitely a backup, not a starter in this league. Maybe a good backup, but might be a night you need Elias Pettersson and JT Miller to do some things offensively.
What does that do to the? I just wonder. That's a kick in the junk for like. There's the on ice, and then there's the guys in the locker room. Hey, we're good. Don't worry, we're good. We're good. We're good, boys. Don't worry about it. We got this. Shit.
I don't know. Rolison played game 1 in the semifinals in '99 when Hasek happened to be hurt. Now, we didn't expect Hasek to be out for any extended
For the
period.
series, yeah.
But you were still confident. But that was also the semifinals. So you'd kind of built up some bravado, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Vancouver will be.
Might have been a blessing in disguise that Smith got all that work down the stretch, although it's
Yeah.
probably related, I'd think, with Demko to come back from injury less than 2 weeks ago, I want to say.
Groinal.
Could be. We don't know. And look, we've talked about the inexperience of Vancouver in the playoffs. They had the one run in the bubble in Edmonton. The last time they had a home game in Vancouver, Michael Ferland was playing against them. This is where they're going to have to lean on Rick Tocchet's experience. This is not a group that's been through something like this, right?
Because Demko came back, his first game was against the Flames, right? In that game last week?
I think that sounds about right.
So that's a week today. That was last Tuesday. 4-1 Vancouver win. So, yeah. They're used to playing without him. In fairness. He's been back for 2 games. He's out already.
That line for Nashville's moved a bunch since,
It has, eh?
Well,
there you go.
That,
there you go. Well, enjoy the playoff hockey. Enjoy the 4-banger. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Big up the Cavs.
There you go. Get your green on and go cheer for the Cavs. Watch some hockey. And I believe, no, it's maybe an off-air conversation, but I think we're going to continue with the insiders into the playoffs. We're going to have some
I'd like
Jamie
to.
McLennan tomorrow.
I mean, shit, yeah, there's enough going on.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Oh, like, gosh, I'd sure miss him if he wasn't on. So Jamie McLennan going to join us tomorrow.
Like, you don't want to hear from the insiders heading into June?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I do. I wonder because TSN not being a rights holder, he's probably just doing studio work, right? His travel schedule, I would guess, is
For what
down.
Studio?
Less, yeah. He'll be sitting at home.
They don't have the rights to anything.
Well,
I'm on That's Hockey a bit, probably. Yeah. That's about it. So maybe
still doing his big show every day, right? Still doing the big overdrive or whatever it's called.
But he could do that from home.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Hard to say. Just before we go, just some stuff coming in here from K-Man. Got my barn burner blonde today. Can't wait to try them. Camping this weekend. Finger red number. Either way, I'm not sure what. Appreciate you for supporting the barn burner blonde. Origin Brewing.
Boy, it was a hit on Friday.
A little early for camping. Not sure.
It's always too early for camping.
Mike, we were talking about Pinder Report. Glad I'm not the only one who shits his pants when I can't get some damn PB on my multi-grain bread. That's right, Mitch.
Oh, Mitchy.
What are we doing? We're hogging. What are we hogging the friggin' peanut butter for? Gunford. How come everyone's so set on trading Markstrom? I get he has high value, but he has value in the organization. He's the number one, wants to play. Why he'd be a great mentor for Wolf. Now, all that would seem to be true. He is the number one. To his desire to play here, maybe that's changed a little bit. We don't know. And I think he would be a great mentor for Wolf.
Yeah, and you are weighing not Markstrom being valuable to the organization against nothing. You're weighing it against what a theoretical return in trade would be, which would be young players that aren't in their mid-30s and then gone in 2 years.
And you could also be, we're unsure, and I don't know that it's happened, but has he gone in and said to Conroy, trade me right friggin' now? Kind of doubt it.
I think everyone's probably on the same page
just
here.
Settle down. Everyone just settle down. Well, folks, that's our program for today. Enjoy the rest of your, whatever it is, Tuesday. And,
That'll do it.
See you tomorrow, buddy.